The tape, let's grind. Shut up. The tape. Let's grind. Let's the tape. We do a little bit different around here.
We ain't gonna play. Shut up and grind the tape.
Let's grind.
We ain't gonna play. Them dogs in your face.
Let's grind.
We ain't gonna play. Shut up and grind the tape.
Let's grind.
We ain't gonna play. Them dogs in your face. Grind.
Let's grind.
Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape.
The tape. Let's grind.
Grind the tape, bro.
Let's grind.
Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Shut up and grind. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape.
The tape.
Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro.
The tape.
UGA game day, boy, we ball out. Pull up, put the whole conference in the doghouse. Leave them 6 feet, see me on the win streak. All-star status, go coach, and the bench deep. Offense on 10, how we run it? Your best ain't nothing, we gon' send them boys punting. Black and red, got them dead on arrival. Defense hunkered down for the tie. Hey, you don't want it with the dogs. Found guy on it, you don't want it with my dog. Break it down, play by play, that's the day-to-day. They know we ain't come to play, boy, it's UGA. Kirby Smart, I cannot play the fool. Back to back, we did not come to lose. Back to back, like we got something to prove. Pay your dues, dog nation on the move. What's up?
We do a little bit different around here.
We ain't gonna play. Shut up and grind the tape.
The tape.
We ain't gonna play. Them dogs in your face.
Let's grind.
We ain't gonna play. Shut up and grind the tape.
Shut up. Let's grind.
We ain't gonna play. Them dogs in your face. Shut up and grind.
Let's grind.
Grind the tape, bro.
Let's
Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape.
The
Shut
tape.
up and grind.
Let's grind.
Grind the tape, bro.
Let's grind.
Grind the tape, bro.
Let's grind.
Grind the tape, bro. Shut up and grind. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape. Shut up and grind. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro.
Shut up.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to MBR, or as we like to call it around here, Nothing But Rants, the show where I find topics that I'm oddly passionate about and I pontificate upon them. These are not hot takes, but rather takes that I'm hot about. What's up? You really like that?
Let's shut up and grind some tape.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome in to the Film Guy Network on a fabulous Thursday evening. Every single week when we get to this point, boys and girls, we've been putting it in. We've been putting it in harder and longer than anybody probably on the internet space. How many film studies we do this week? Four. Did 4 film studies this week, one of which was private. We did 8 hours of live content. We're going through 7 and 8 right now. And boys and girls, last show, best show. Y'all know how it is. Thursday afternoon, Thursday evening, it's time to go. Unless it doesn't happen coming to you guys tonight. Who is on upset alert? We're going to tell you. Quinn Ewers is going to start this weekend. That was the news of today, delivered by one Steve Sarkisian. Final pick in that one. I'm going to deliver it. I've been dragging my feet on this one. We're going to give you a score prediction and a final pick from yours truly in that football game. There are some storylines and some key stats in this Oregon and Ohio State football game that I'm excited to bring to you guys tonight. Grinded the stat machine today. Grinding the stat machine. I know what that says up in that corner right now. I know. We are a film-oriented network. We're going to give you a lot of real film-based takes on the local hour tonight. Excited to give you that one as well. But I want to start right here. Boys, these are the weekends we do it for right here. These are the weekends. These are the types of weekends where legends are absolutely made. These are the type of weekends where dreams go to die. These are the type of weekends where hope is arisen. Hope rises from the ashes. Boys, these are the weekends. These are the weekends that are the stuff. These are the weekends that bring the juice. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. These are these types of weekends. Listen to this. We settle in Saturday afternoon at noon in Tuscaloosa, South Carolina, seeing if they can go do what Vandy just did.
Good morning.
All right, and you know what? We might just have to take a peek at Georgia Tech, North Carolina at noon. That might be sneaky good this weekend. And then right after that, right after we get our feet wet, we dip our toe in the water, we get Red River. We get Red River Rivalry at 3:30. Okay, no longer a nooner out there. We're going to move that to 3:30 because this SEC time. It's prime time slots for the Red River. So them folks going to get nice and lubricated, okay, come 3:30. And guess what? Whilst that's going on, you bet your bottom dollar we're going to be dual screening Penn State USC.
Absolutely.
We're going to have it right there. And you already know we're going to be taking a peek. We're going to be taking a peek at them folks over there in, the Mormon country. Arizona, BYU, 4 o'clock. All right, and guess what? At the culmination of the Mississippi mudhole stomping that Georgia is going to deliver to Mississippi State at 4 o'clock this afternoon on Saturday.
Shout out.
Right around 7:30, the whole world's going to be transfixed on Ohio State at Oregon.
Oh.
I mean, 2 versus 3, Big Ten showdown. We're going to be cooking with a little side dish of Ole Miss at LSU. Game of the year? Last year might turn it around, bringing it back version 2. And don't think during that 7:30 window we won't be taking a peek at Tennessee, Florida, because we saw what happened last week. Arkansas, can Florida pull it off too? Who knows? We're going to be taking a peek at it. And just when you thought we've had enough, we've just been absolutely gorging ourselves with football all day. 10:30 roll around, here come prime time. Prime time, K-State on the road at Colorado, and we're going to be taking a peek. We're going to be taking a peek at Jeanty and the Fighting Rainbows duking it out. Jeanty going to go for 400 in that football game. Boys and girls, this is the weekend. This is the weekend we all been waiting on. And we didn't even know. Last weekend snuck up on us, hit us right in the face. We didn't even know what was going to happen. This week, all eyes. Can't be sleeping on this one. It's impossible. Absolutely impossible. Welcome in, man. We got a great show for you guys tonight. Can't wait to bring it down to you. Unless it doesn't happen, who's on upset alert? Quinn Ewers news today. We're gonna bring that one back to you. I'm too excited. Oregon at Ohio State. Again, I got some sneaky stats on that football game. My God, what a weekend and what a show, boys. How y'all doing?
Good, man.
400 yards? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
I'm already gonna spoil it unless it doesn't happen. You heard it here first. The single game rushing record, it's in peril this weekend. Shemaze P. Ryan better be on alert. 427 yards, mincemeat. All my man Jeanty needs is about 25 totes. That's it. Just give it to him. 25 totes, let him rock. Ashton Jeanty breaking the rushing single game record this weekend. You heard it here first unless it doesn't happen.
That'd be the greatest performance ever. If you got 400 yards on 25 totes, that would be... I would love
You
that.
doubting Michael Myers during spooky season?
I'm one of the few people that never doubted him.
He's
never
got a point.
doubted him.
Jay Will has been on the Ashton Jeanty train the entire season.
I went from who to this dude's about to break the single game rushing record against the Fighting Rainbows. I'm sorry I had to do it to Fight Rainbows to start the show, but I did.
We'll see.
We will see. Oh, man, what a great show for you guys tonight. I want to give a quick shout-out to our friends over at Better, all right? Better now offers college football props. Enter more than or less than key stats on college football players, okay? You can play in 23 states, including the fine state of Georgia. Better is now matching, guys. They're now matching first-time deposits up to $250 if you use promo code Brooks or click the link in the description of this video. Great time to be over on Better. We're 4-1. I think I'm going to tweet out a Better pick this week. I'm gonna let it simmer. Let it simmer and figure out I don't know why I folded that. I just made that ad read paper way worse than it already was.
Put that thing out of its misery. Let's print another one.
You want to print another one?
You don't have to laminate it, but let's,
I think the printer's running low on ink.
We're halfway through the season. Let's maybe get another one. That thing is sad, dude.
Yeah.
Give it an honorary discharge.
Might not be a bad idea.
Did the Service Academy, speaking of honorary discharge, does the Service Academy stay undefeated this weekend?
I hope so.
I do too.
Oh, man.
Can you
imagine?
UAB's got another Service Academy this weekend?
UAB's been really bad.
Yeah, UAB's playing Army.
I think they already gave up 70 to Navy.
They play Army.
And I think they play Army.
Did you see where the fans are boycotting the football team?
Yeah,
that's a bad sign.
Trent Dilfer stuck his foot in his mouth multiple times.
Well, didn't they lose like 73-9 this last weekend? Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah, it's ugly. Also, I think they were going for it on fourth down 73-9, because the Tulane coach had a little
Georgia
had a little altercation with Trent Dilfer at the midfield. Yeah.
Yikes.
It was like, bro, we were nice to y'all and only beat y'all 73-9 today.
We showed mercy.
Okay. And y'all are out here putting our players at risk down 79-3. or whatever the hell it was.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was testy.
Before
but it's
we
not
get
going well
too deep in the show, can we talk about the possible implications of the Army-Navy game being to get into a playoff spot?
Yeah, they might have to play they're probably going to end up playing 2 weeks in a row. They're going to play the last game of their regular season and then have to play each other for the conference title for a spot in the college football playoff.
Does it work like that? I thought they just did I thought they don't have a conference title game.
No, they have a conference title game this year. They're in a conference. They have to play in a conference title game. Yeah. It's the even more interesting part of that story.
They're
probably going to play twice, assuming that they are the 1 and 2 seed in that conference.
That's definitely a bucket list game.
By the way, I do want some feedback. It doesn't seem we're getting complaints. We did some in-house audio checks before the show. We did some troubleshooting. I'm hoping everything has sounded better. I know you guys have had primary complaints about that, or consistent complaints, I should say, about that over the last couple of shows. So I hope we've gotten that fixed. We certainly spent some time addressing it today. Let's do it. Let's get into it. Who's on upset alert this weekend, boys?
I'm sticking with that. This isn't one that I primarily believe in necessarily, but just given the rivalry's history, I'm sticking with Tennessee. You are on upset alert, and I think that there are just some concerning factors there for them, depending on what the wide receiver room looks like. If all three of those guys do play, now Brew McCoy's been playing hurt since NC State. That dude is going to play. I think he is playing like a player that only has 1 year of eligibility left, and he's trying to make the most of it. But I think depending on what the wide receiver room looks like, and just kind of depending on, is Florida actually rejuvenated a little bit? Are they actually still fighting for Billy Napier? Are they still fighting for this program? But I think there is a world where it could happen, but it'll be tough.
I had this same note, and then I stopped myself. I literally wrote down never mind, and here's why. You know you got to stop the run to beat Tennessee. Everyone knows this.
I thought they were a passing offense.
No. You have to stop the run to be able to stop Tennessee. Did you know right now that opponents in the Power Four are averaging 40 rushing attempts per game against Florida for 200 yards per game against Florida?
Good God.
Yeah. The game plan right now, if you're an offense with a pulse in a Power 4 offense, is to just run the rock right at Florida's face for 200 yards a game. They gave up 310 to Texas A&M. They gave up 240 to Mississippi State. I got a big day on the way for Dylan Sampson.
Yeah, that's going to be tough to win that
40
game.
rushing attempts against an SEC opponent per game.
I would say this is probably you're more on upset alert if this is played in the Swamp. This is going to be played in Neyland after a loss.
Yeah.
That fan base is probably going to be fired up looking for blood, I'd have to imagine. So
I'd be looking for blood the other way.
What if this Vandy bunch is real?
Sneaky spread.
13.5 is way too much. This game's got 2017 written all over it. Over it.
I'm here for it, but this is a program that just had the biggest win of their entire. Like honestly, part of me hopes that Vanderbilt just shows up, and just goes through the motions.
Bama wasn't their natty, dude. They got natty aspirations. Pavia told them folks, "Hey, we got to handle business."
Let's be fair.
I know.
They can say it wasn't the natty. That was absolutely Vanderbilt's natty. People are going to be talking about that game 20 years from now. But, it is weird because you don't come into this game thinking, oh, Kentucky's going to be almost a 2-touchdown favorite, but they are. I think that it could be close. I don't see really I don't want to say that the week after they beat Alabama, but I can't really see a world where they beat Kentucky.
Also, Kentucky's not going to line up in man coverage all the time.
No, Kentucky's not going to line up in man coverage.
They're going to play quarters match and play with Deion Walker at defensive end.
And they have
good luck running off-tackle option.
Yeah, and they have a much more experienced defense, too.
Correct.
I just had to absorb you saying Vanderbilt with natty aspirations. So I just had to let that sink in for a second.
I didn't say that. Pavia said that.
No, even you just reiterating someone else's words, that I had to let that sink in for a second.
I went through the wins and losses yesterday on their schedule. I didn't get to the chance to get to it during the national hour. We got them losing this weekend?
I would say so, yeah.
Vandy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Ball State W.
Yeah.
Texas loss.
Yeah.
They beaten Auburn. That's at Auburn.
I don't know about that.
They beaten Auburn at Auburn?
Don't know.
I don't know, dude. They beaten South Carolina this year at home?
At home?
At home.
Depends on what South Carolina is at that point.
They're taking a loss to LSU and Tennessee to close the season. We agree there.
Yeah.
I got a potential at a sneaky 7-5.
Yeah.
And to pull off 7-5, they got to win at Auburn. They obviously have to beat Ball State. They got to beat South Carolina.
No one give them a chance.
Doable.
We gonna get some Vandy Holiday Bowl merch?
Probably.
Please.
I mean, just imagine being Vandy's football coach making about $7.5 million a year, because that's what's probably going to happen. Right? I don't know what Clark Lee's making now, but he just doubled his pay raise. He goes his salary.
And
He
look,
goes 7.5.
that's honestly part of the reason why I was saying I don't think it'll be an upset this weekend, because part of me hopes that Vandy just kind of shows up and they look like they've been hungover from drinking the last 7 days, because they earned every right of
We
that.
also need to take into consideration, what if the Mafia gets to Pavia?
What if he enters the portal? What if while he was downtown Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday?
Little Tony Soprano action coming
Yeah.
in.
Pavia.
Pavia,
Chat,
I guess.
I think comments told me on the film studies Pavia.
Okay, Pavia.
So let's go there. So no one's got them pulling off the upset.
No, which means they will.
All right, so who else is on upset alert, boys?
I've got Kansas State on upset alert. 14th ranked team. You're playing at Colorado. It's a night game there. Big 12, we've already talked about how it's kind of a disgusting conference.
You're bad against the pass.
Anything can happen in this conference. We've talked about it before. So I know Kansas State is one of these teams that has playoff aspirations. Hell, at this point, Colorado might be one of them because of the way they've kind of ran through the Big 12 the last few games. So I would say that Kansas State is on upset alert.
I don't mind. Yeah, I think that's definitely a possibility. I'm honestly shocked that Colorado has not yet been put into the top 25 rankings, because they have only lost the one game. So I would honestly view them as a borderline top 25 team. So it almost makes you feel like this is an even matchup between Kansas State and Colorado. It's a must-win game for Kansas State. I guess you could say it's a must-win for Colorado as well, to really assert yourself into this top-range Big 12 team realm. But, yeah, I mean, I could absolutely see it happening. I think you're kind of going against a team that goes off of flair, whereas Kansas State is just, we're just going to grind it out and try and get a win.
Is a 3-2 Louisville team worthy of a 7.5-point favorite over Virginia at home?
Virginia's pretty rough.
I don't know. I'm the other way around. I think Virginia's sneaky competitive. Also, I like their quarterback, Anthony Calandria.
Oh,
good
Anthony
name.
Calandria, second year in the system. He started 8 games last year as a true freshman, and kind of slick balled. Here's a sneaky story I found out about my man Calandria. Calandria may or may not come from some private jet type of money. Okay, so when he balled out last year, there were some sharks in the water swimming around this true freshman that was balling. 10 toes down with the Cavaliers.
Cavs, baby.
Yeah, baby. Calandria, big day. Watch out, Louisville Cardinals.
I don't know if you can constitute this one as a upset alert because it's only a 3.5-point spread. But Penn State, you're the number 4 team in the country right now. You're going to USC.
Unranked USC.
Yeah, if you lose this game, this is I don't care what the spread says in this instance. It's an upset. So I'm putting them absolutely on upset alert. Is it fair to say that if anything's less than 5 points, it's not really an upset?
Yeah.
But even though this one kind of feels like, and me and Jay were talking about
This is an
this
upset.
with LSU and Ole Miss, 13 versus 9, 3.5-point spread. If anyone wins that game, would it be an upset to you?
The way I put it is, it would be an upset in the discussion of Ole Miss labeled as a playoff team, Ole Miss labeled as one of the top 4 teams in the conference. LSU has kind of died off of that, and so I feel like in that discussion, it is an upset.
Would the ESPN matchup predictors weigh in, sway you at all in this?
These have been interesting.
They have been
compared to
interesting.
spreads.
What are they saying?
USC 51.7%.
That's interesting.
What?
Yeah, ESPN's FPI has Southern Cal to win this football game.
Wow. I still would say it's an upset.
I would too.
You're
What does it
top
say?
4 team.
What does it say for LSU Ole Miss?
Give me a second.
That's your top 4 team.
Yeah, if you're a top 4 team and you lose to an unranked team, I don't care what the spread is. You've been upset.
You can't. Your top 4 team, and you can't lose to a team that is unranked and just lost to Minnesota.
67.6% in favor of Ole Miss in that matchup.
So yeah, if LSU wins that, that's absolutely an upset.
I agree.
It's interesting. Do you have any others?
I'm putting a Big 12 team on upset alert. I'm putting Iowa State on upset alert this weekend.
Come on.
The Cyclones.
Bunch of mid.
Yeah, they are. And that's
mid.
why it almost feels dirty to call this an upset, because all y'all are just some okay football teams, all right? Nobody thinks y'all are great. Nobody thinks y'all are good, probably. But you're just here because we got to have somebody. Like, the rankings is like, we got to have a Big 12 team up here. Iowa State, you got the record. We're just going to slap you right here. But
Here's the deal. I'll make a promise right now. If Iowa State wins this game by multiple touchdowns, I will do my due diligence and study the piss about that roster. I will know more about Iowa State football than anybody on the internet if they win that game by more than 2 scores. You ready?
All right.
That's my promise today. Ooh. All right, but until then, until they win convincingly against a halfway decent football team, I'm just going to call them some mid, even though they're undefeated. They got 2 ranked opponents to close out the year. I think I can just call them mid until then.
Yeah.
You know? If they just keep eking out wins against other mid football teams and they're just the best of the mids, and then when they go play a real team, you know, a ranked team like Utah or K-State at the end of the year, we'll see. But you do it this weekend, Cyclones, we'll call you real. And I'll study you.
Is there a world where Oregon beating Ohio State could really be an upset in some sense? Because I got some stats on that football game that will call that a massive upset. I'm just focusing in on this of Ohio State came into the season of people saying that's the best roster in college football. That is the most complete roster in college football.
Urban Meyer says the best roster in 10 years.
Yeah, so Oregon, a year 3 Dan Lanning beating Ohio State in that same sentence. That to me kind of feels like an upset. Obviously, it's 2 versus 3, so you really can't classify it as like, oh my gosh, Oregon just knocked off Ohio State or anything like that. But I think there is some discussion to where it can be labeled that.
I do want to sidetrack the show right now. Because, bro, you got that shit on tonight.
The Raiders
You got that shit on. It's not even that. It's the gold accents, too. Show that watch. You got that shit on tonight.
Thanks, man.
I'm serious.
You know you got this for me.
Yeah, I do. But I also like the white accent turtleneck up underneath. Bro, you got that shit on.
Thanks,
I had
man.
to tell you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I got another team that's potentially on upset alert. I don't know, and I'm gonna give you my prediction here in a second. I don't know if for real is on upset alert because I don't know if they can pull it off. But can Oklahoma do it? Can Oklahoma defy a 14.5 point spread?
Absolutely.
You have to be on alert if you're Texas.
For sure.
Yeah. Have to.
I've got one more before we do anything.
Okay, go ahead. We were going to transition into that. But
sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. That's on me.
I don't want to put this team on upset alert, but it feels like things are going a little too well for them right now. Boise State has been the media darling for everyone. Ashton Jeanty has been labeled as unstoppable. I love Boise State. I hope Ashton Jeanty wins a Heisman. That trip to Hawaii would scare the shit out of me if I were a Boise State fan.
You know what? He needed a knock. That's what he needed. That's all he needed.
Good.
That's all he had left. That's all Jeanty had left. It's an infinity stone right there. All he needed was a singular op, and you provided it here on this show.
Yeah, let me be the one to motivate him. I hope they do super well in the season. I hope Ashton Jeanty wins the Heisman. I think that's a great story. It scares the shit out of me, though, because Hawaii is a sneaky good team against the run.
I think they're top 40.
Top 60.
It's a long trip.
Top 60.
Yeah.
It's a trap game. Even if Hawaii doesn't win that game, I'm worried about it. That's all I'm going to say.
Fair. Be worried about it. You should be worried about the Red River rivalry. I'd be watching it no matter what. I got that thing TiVo'd. I'm probably going to study it afterwards. I just want to see them. I want to see Venables and Sark go at it. I've said all week, I just wish this was 4 quarters of Texas offense versus Oklahoma defense. And I think that's probably what it might end up being anyways. But let's get into it. Quinn Ewers is playing in this football game. It was announced today. Suffered an oblique strain in a non-contact form against UTSA. Missed the last 2 games plus a bye week. It's safe to assume he's close to 100% or as close to 100% as he's going to be. The reason I say that is because did you read Sark's quote about him when he made the announcement that he was going to start today? This is how firm he was in this. Quote, Quinn is going to start. That's an easy answer. Boom. End of story. Didn't address it the rest of the press conference from my understanding. When he left, with this injury, I thought Quinn Ewers was playing not some of his best football. I thought he was playing his best football and playing uber confidently as well. Okay. Now, this is a very different test. This is a very different test for Quinn Ewers and this Texas offense in this sense. They haven't been tested, and you're going to say, what, Brooks? They played Michigan, and Michigan's defense got really good football players. They have, or they do, I should say. But as much as there's been talk about the depletion of the roster up at Michigan, obviously had a bunch of NFL players leave from that national championship team a year ago. I think the biggest depletion from a standpoint from Michigan's football team as a whole is their defensive coaching staff. They had no adjustments at all, and if any, against Texas in that football game against Sark. And you can't do that against that guy. You have to throw him different looks the entire football game. And I do believe believe Venables has the ability to do that. I expect Oklahoma to create havoc in this football game. I expect them to create at least a smidge of offense. Okay, just a smidge of offense, but not enough. Texas wins this football game 27-18. I don't see Venables, and maybe Texas is this good, and that will be my takeaway moving. I will come to this show on Sunday and say, whoa, if Texas comes out here and puts up a 40 spot on this Oklahoma defense, I think they're that good. I really do. I think Oklahoma's defense is a top 10 defense in this country, or in this sport right now.
Yeah, I think the way you broke that down is the most logical. It's a very, very good defense that's just kind of being held back this year by a really shitty offense that's having to go up against one of the best offensive masterminds in college football. Everything points to Texas should win this game. They should be able to, but when it's a rivalry game, when it's things like this, when you have a defensive mastermind, Brent Venables, anything could go your way, and I think that's why we're putting on an upset alert. But no, absolutely, Texas is the pound-for-pound better team here. Schematically, they should win. Talent-wise, they should win. Everything points to Texas winning this football game.
If there were 2 Quinn Ewers on this field, and Oklahoma had one of them too, how close is this football game? Oh, well, we can just rephrase it this way. If Dylan Gabriel were on Oklahoma's roster, let's do it that way. Let's really dig a knife right now into Oklahoma fans that have found us.
I think that's what you saw last year.
I think I would be.
I've already said he was the best player in that game.
I think I would be picking Oklahoma to win.
Would you?
I think I would. I'll take a good quarterback and a good defense over a lot of teams.
Yeah.
If you can have that in college football, in today's world of college football, I'll take that duo into battle with a lot of teams.
Do we know much about Texas's defense? They've allowed 7 points a game through five their first.
It's
5
weird.
games.
It's weird. You have no idea.
And coming into this season, we said if they don't win a national title, it's because of their defensive secondary. And I think they've been okay, but
I don't think they've been
ain't
tested.
played nobody.
Yeah, you want to hear the passing offenses that they've played this year?
I know. This is why I brought this up. Give it to the audience.
Colorado State 110th, Michigan 130th. UTSA 44th.
Nice.
So UTSA up there. That's the best one they played so far.
But that's far more to do with UTSA's schedule, and they're a 1-5 football team. They have to throw it every day.
Louisiana Monroe 131st. Mississippi State 58th.
And Mississippi State was hitting some deep shots on them.
So they've played 2 of the top 5 worst passing offenses in college football this year.
Oh, it was a bad toss. It was a bad toss.
Tough.
So yeah, they have not been tested yet. So
But
no, we don't really know anything. But
the problem is with that is Oklahoma the offense that's going to test them?
Yeah, no.
So they might just go another week without having to really be strained.
I even tried to look at what have they done against scrambling quarterbacks? They ain't even played one of those. Not to this extent. I mean, Hawkins has real explosive ability.
He can get
with his legs.
He'll probably make a difference at some point with his legs in this game, but
not if Texas just plays zone all 4 quarters.
Well, that's a problem.
You know, I couldn't believe that's what happened on that Auburn touchdown run. Auburn's playing cover 1, and he takes off down the middle of the field, and everybody's covering their guy, and he runs for 67 yards because he's that fast. I don't think any team allows that to happen moving forward.
And they're going to be without Deion Burks, I believe, is what I saw today.
Has he had a good year?
He's leading the team in receptions.
Coming from Purdue, right?
I think he had 256 yards or something like that. So
he's like old Bobby Stoops' boy on steroids, isn't he? Didn't they have a slot Stoops for a while?
Drake Stoops.
Drake Stoops.
Yeah.
Where he's at now.
He's like Drake Stoops, but like a baller. Not that Drake Stoops.
Drake Stoops was low key a baller.
Drake Stoops, lunch pail guy. Coach's kid.
He beat the shit out of Florida. I remember.
He did. Baller. I think Drake Stoops might have gotten into the league.
I wouldn't be shocked.
I think he
Will you check that for me?
There's a chance he's on a roster right now.
Apparently, we did fix the audio.
Let's go.
So there we go. I don't know. It was the weird thing about that was it was very touch and go with everybody. Some people said it was good. Some people said it was bad. What's up?
Yeah, he's a rookie on the Rams right now.
Hell yeah. Of course he is.
They're
just stockpiling them.
Full of lunch pail guys.
Hell yeah. Full of lunch pail dudes over there. Yeah, I got Texas 27-18. So we all round robined Texas.
Yes.
All right. Oregon versus Ohio State. Which coach needs this win more?
That's a good question.
I'm going to go with Dan Lanning.
You're going to go with Dan Lanning?
I think Dan Lanning needs to win more because Dan Lanning is searching for that signature win.
Boy, is he.
Here I am. Oregon is a legitimate top program now. Year 3 rule. Dan Lanning, I think that if you beat Ohio State, if you beat an Ohio State team, like I said earlier, who people have claimed has the best roster in college football, who is one of the top 2 teams to win the national title this year, if you do that, if you pull that win off, then you're officially stamped. Like Oregon is stamped as one of these great programs in the country, and so I think that Dan Lanning needs this win more.
He certainly needs a massive signature win, and it's been talked about. And I ran down the numbers today. I didn't realize it was just this drastic. It's not bad, but it's pretty drastic, the difference between these 2 football coaches and these types of football games. Dan Lanning is currently 7-5 in top 25 matchups. He's 2-3 versus top 10 opponents. Those 3 losses came to Georgia, twice to Washington. Ryan Day, sneaky good. Ryan Day, sneaky good for a coach that gets shit on this much. Ryan Day, 17-6 versus top 25 opponents. He's 11-6 versus top 10 opponents, okay? And here's the deal. He is undefeated in the regular season against top 10 football teams not named Michigan.
Dang.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah. This dude absolutely wins football games that are top 10 matchups if they're not playing Michigan. Michigan's got his number, and there's no doubt about that. Or at least Harbaugh had his number to close out that run. But nobody else does. This guy handles business, all right? The most of the losses against top 10 opponents, they're all bowl season losses. There's one to Mizzou. I don't know why I wanted to go Missouri. There's one to Mizzou. There's one, obviously, to Georgia. There's one to Alabama in a national title. There's a couple of these. But most of these regular season football games, bro, this guy's winning games.
I want to use that as the reason why Ryan Day needs to win this game. Because the perception on Ryan Day is he can't win the big game. He always gets to a big moment, big game, and he chokes it. If your statistics in the regular season are so good, and then you come out and lose this game, they're going to even shit on you more. Now, Dan Lanning, on the other hand, yes, he needs that marquee win. I don't think Oregon has had, hey, Dan Lanning has arrived. He's a true top 5 coach cemented while he's been there in 2 seasons. It's year 3 under Dan Lanning. It's still pretty young. Ryan Day's been there since 2019. Ohio State fans expect a national title this year. And with the roster that he has, if you come out and you lose to Oregon their first year in the Big Ten, people are going to be very upset. If Dan Lanning on the adverse loses to Ryan Day, Oregon fans will be upset. They'll be disappointed, but they're still alive. It's our first year in the Big Ten. Ohio State's got a very good roster this year. There's a chance we can play him again. There's going to be frustrations with Dan Lanning, but I don't think the fan base is going to get their pitchforks out like they would with Ryan Day.
When did the PR for Ryan Day take a downturn?
Him yelling at
no, he was well disliked far before him yelling at a 95-year-old Lou Holtz.
I think it really started in 2020.
I think it got him. I think Harbaugh got him with that born on third base.
That's
comment.
yes.
And everyone was like, you know what, you are right. This guy was an interim coach.
Whenever that's
and got
occurred,
handed a Lamborghini.
And I think that was 2020, maybe 21.
I just think I think the dude gets undue criticism. I think
for sure.
He's a top 4 football coach in
Absolutely.
the sport.
I mean, you're a horrendous fumble call away from going to the national title against LSU and losing, but your first year, you go to the national title. Then you went to the national title your second year.
Dude, his first 3 games as an interim head coach, he beat 2 top 10 football teams.
Yeah, exactly.
The first time he walked out, he rolled the ball out as a football coach and was like, watch this. I'm going to finish out a regular season, undefeated regular season.
The amount of one-play moments Ryan Day's away from being, at the very least, being in national titles or winning them is crazy. 2019, that horrible call against Clemson. You make the field goal against Georgia, you probably go on to beat TCU. I mean, that list goes on and on.
I mean, our chat is cooking him. Absolutely cooking him.
See, that's why I'm telling you. That's why Ryan Day needs to win it more.
Well, it just went out. Just be undeniable. That's what you're saying.
Let's be fair,
beat the haters.
too.
You just got to win everything.
Ohio State is one of the most universally hated football programs anyways.
Yeah.
Like people,
the whole program's born on third base.
It doesn't matter.
Feels.
It doesn't matter who's the head coach there. You're going to be hated because people hate Ohio State.
That's fair.
People root against Ohio State every single Saturday.
I just think that
I've never felt that, by the way.
Never felt the hate.
Even when I had fandom, I never disliked Ohio State. I never felt that way. I thought Terrell Pryor was the coolest thing in the world.
Yeah, Terrell Pryor was cool.
Terrell
Pryor is actually one of the reasons I became
thought
a Raiders
they got
fan.
absolutely hosed against Miami, or the other way around. Well, who got hosed there? Miami got hosed. Miami got hosed.
Yeah.
I thought Maurice Clarett got hosed by the NCAA. I did.
Yeah.
I remember. I thought they were cool. So I never felt this towards Ohio State. Maybe I'm wrong.
I think that
I always thought the stickers on the helmet was cool as shit.
Yeah.
James Laurinaitis was dope.
It's more honestly, and this is just speaking to my generation, you go from the tattoo scandal, which it is what it is at this point, to immediately hiring Urban Meyer, to then going
You
to...
didn't laugh at the idea that they were trading in bowl game rings for tats? You didn't think that was funny?
It was very funny to me, but when you're like 12 years old and all the older people around you are like, oh, they were cheating, this is bad, you're kind of indoctrinated into not liking it. And then they immediately hire Urban Meyer, the guy who, let's be fair, it's Urban Meyer. You have Urban Meyer as your coach for a while, and then Ryan Day, who, let's be fair, shot himself in the foot a couple times as far as PR goes. It makes sense. And by the way, they've been a consistent top 10 team that entire time. It's fair to hate on Ohio State.
All right, for the rest of the night, we are taking all Ryan Day looks like jokes. Ryan Day looks like he drives through a Chick-fil-A on Sunday and says, dang, they ain't open.
Gets visibly mad.
Yeah.
Whose idea is to close on Sunday?
Try to steer away from the beard dye jokes. All right? Let's be original. I challenge you. Those stats against top 10 and top 25 opponents for Dan, not great.
No,
not great. He needs to get off the mat here. I got a proposition for you, a little what if. All right, we're all picking Ohio State.
What if
this game.
Thursday?
Actually, I picked Oregon, but I don't feel great about it. I think Ohio State has a really good chance to out explosive this game. I think it's going to be very staggered offense. I think it's going to be struggle some, pop, struggle some, pop. I don't think there's any methodical drives in this football game. And with that being the case, I think Ohio State's probably going to walk out with a win, even though I anti-Will Howard Deep stated last night.
That's some good double coverage right there by you.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead and get the Ohio
can pull-
State wins
Call me out, boys. Call me out,
And
boys.
then-
You
But
can pull
earlier
the
in the
Wednesday
week,
clip,
hey,
or you
yeah.
can pull the Thursday clip, and you can't.
Which one do I want to select? Well, let me just say both, and I'll strategically place them far apart from one another. Where maybe they won't remember I picked Oregon, even though you told us. Had you not even told us, probably would have said, "Yeah, you picked Ohio State." But yeah, good job on that one. That's real good.
Smart play.
Good job.
That's on me, boys. That's on me. Good call. Good call. Before I give you my hypothetical, Ohio State has to win this game for the fact that their road following this game is much tougher than
much
the
tougher
Oregon's.
schedule.
Much tougher. They have Nebraska, at Penn State, Indiana, and Michigan left on the slate. Oregon's just got to get past really Illinois and at Michigan.
Illinois.
So, Illinois sneaky good.
Is Illinois a harder game than Michigan at this
Luke
point?
Altmaier, baby.
I would say yes.
Is Illinois a harder game than Michigan at this point?
Yeah, I would
That's
say.
sad. Wow.
I would say. They got better quarterback play and more threatening offense. I would say that for sure. All right, so let's play this hypothetical here. We're picking Ohio State to win this weekend. All right, we're picking Ohio State to beat Penn State.
Yes.
Both those road games.
Later
Okay.
in the season, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're picking, all right, so hypothetically, when it comes to that, we're probably going to pick Ohio State to beat Penn State. So that means Ohio State, most likely undefeated, going to the Big Ten championship game.
More than
so
one.
here's where the hypothetical comes in. Who's more likely to have a rematch against Ohio State in the Big Ten championship game, thus winning out the rest of their way? Oregon with the rest of their slate, or Penn State?
Ooh, Penn State's schedule's easy.
They both are.
Yeah.
They both are. And what I think's ultimately going to happen, guys, is if Ohio State wins out, what is the tiebreaker in the Big Ten?
It then probably turns to points scored against similar opponents. That's
There were
probably
some
what it is.
lists that came out before the season where it's like it gives all the scenarios and then it gets down to like a rock paper scissors game or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah, flip a coin.
I do think there's a realistic chance that we're going to have a tiebreaker
And
situation in the Big Ten.
The better conversation is we would assume that both Penn State and Oregon in those scenarios are 11-1.
Yeah.
You probably want to sit it out. You probably don't want to play the rematch.
Oh, wow.
You probably don't want to play that game. You want the other team to go play Ohio State again.
Yeah.
You probably want to be at home. Like, don't pick me.
Because you're going to be a 10 seed in either way, or maybe a 9 seed.
You're going to be in
'cause I
more
mean,
than likely.
If you play
And
Ohio
you don't
State,
have to get banged up against Ohio State
right.
for another game.
And there's probably a likelihood that if you lose to Ohio State in the Big Ten championship, there's a chance you have to play them a third time if the playoff bracket goes the way it goes. So
Ryan Day skips carry on my wayward son.
criminal.
Y'all start taking notes of some good ones there, and we'll read those off at breaks. Yeah, you're right. I think you do root to be the team that isn't in the Big Ten championship game. That's crazy. Mm-hmm. And in that scenario, we have 3 Big Ten teams, probably 3 SEC teams,
At the very least.
right? You would think.
At the very least.
And right now, it looks like there's 3 Big Ten teams that are deserving.
At the moment,
Right
yeah.
now. There are 3 playoff caliber football teams in that conference. Okay, we'll find out as the season plays out. All right, let's get into it. Unless it doesn't happen, some of our favorite segments here, because we have found out that you guys remember these. You guys definitely hold on to these takes, and you credit us for these takes. So I like this. I like the fact that I can sit here and tell you that for the 5th week in a row, you already know. You already know what's coming. You know there ain't going to be a week that goes by where I'm not out here giving a shout-out to the Fighting Kenny Dillinghams. You already know. Friday Night Lights in Tempe, boys. Friday Night Lights in Tempe. Sneaky good home field advantage. Sneaky good home field advantage for these guys. If you haven't watched one of these, you need to. You need to be paying attention. All right, Utah's in trouble. Utah's in absolute trouble. You don't walk into the Short King's Palace and leave. You don't walk into the Short King's Palace and leave with a pulse. I'm telling you right now, guys, there have been 3 top 10 opponents go into the Short King's Palace since Kenny Dillingham's taken over the Fighting Sun Devils. All right, they're 0-3 against the spread. They are 0-3 against the spread. Utah's down bad right now. Utah's down absolutely bad. You think this is the right one to get up off the mat, Cam? You're wrong. Cam Rising fighting Kenny Dillingham's taking it to the woodshed. Give me Arizona State pulling off the upset this weekend. You heard it here first.
I like
unless
that
it doesn't
one.
happen.
We've had a team get lost in the shuffle. I mean, I've been a little disappointed in this. A team that has been forgotten since the very beginning of the season. Someone in this room, I mean, absolutely stamped this team, was standing on it, standing side by side with this program, and was here to stay, or at least we thought. But then one bad week 1 performance, it was, they're out the door. I'm no longer associating myself with them. It was a loss to Penn State. Not this time, though. They're actually pulling off the upset this time. Give me West Virginia, the Fighting Neil Browns that you so cared to love at the beginning of the season. I'll take over the love right here.
Dude, I completely
I folded like a
West
cheap suit on
Virginia
that one.
over Iowa State. Big 12 hopes down the drain. See you later.
I like that. I forgot
Good shit. Fighting Neil Browns, 3-2, getting up off the mat already are the Fighting Neil Browns.
Amen.
You watch out. You watch out right now.
I completely forgot that you were a big proponent of the Fighting Neil Browns in that one. Speaking of getting off the mat, let's talk about a team that has the best uniforms in college football, has had a rough season, lost their quarterback, have been trying to absolutely kill their running back, giving him 35 touches a game. The North Carolina Tar Heels play the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets this week, and I'm saying, Mac Brown, it's a get-off-the-mat game for you, buddy. You're going to be dancing in the locker room with your teammates, your players doing all the fun stuff. Yeah, there it is, looking like that. North Carolina, give me the win over Georgia Tech. Only 6-point underdogs. Something fishy there. North Carolina takes a win this week.
Ooh. It's a little nerd off going right there.
Yeah.
Where's that game played? Is that Chapel Hill?
I believe so.
Oh, man. Haynes King rushing for 250 in that football game.
It is in Chapel Hill.
250 on the back of Haynes King. I got some more here. Where are we at? Where unless it doesn't happen. We're going to have the game of the weekend this weekend right here. Game of the weekend. You heard it here first. And it's going to happen. This ain't no unless it doesn't happen. This ain't no prediction. It's what it's going to be. All right? Last year, Ole Miss, LSU, they gave us a 104-point shootout, boys. 104 points. Listen to these stats from this football game. This is astronomical. Over 1,300 yards of total offense in this game. If you're one that likes a clean ball game, this ain't you. 17 penalties in this ball game last year. Nearly 80 pass attempts in this football game. There wasn't a rusher, boys, in this ball game that didn't have at least a singular tote of 10-plus yards. Not a one. If you toted the rock, you had a first down already in this ball game walking out onto the field. There wasn't a player, there were 12 players in this game with at least one reception of 10-plus yards. There were 5 football players in this game last year with at least one 30-plus yard catch. You heard it here first.
Whoa,
We've got a repeat. We've got a repeat of the game of the year this weekend in Baton Rouge. Ole Miss, LSU, shootout for the ages. You heard it here first.
Those stats are insane.
Those stats are nuts.
I don't think I could do that in a video game if I wanted to.
Not even with the sliders turned down and the time turned up. No chance.
Man, I absolutely love that. Losing you game you shouldn't is always a tough one to swallow. Having to then play another team you should beat with a top 10 matchup looming in the distance is treacherous waters. Waters you don't want to be in the mix of. I think the Florida Gators are walking into Neyland Stadium, and I think they're pulling off that set. But not just that. I think that they're going to get some boo birds in Neyland Stadium on Saturday
Oh,
when
man.
Florida starts pulling off the upset.
Whoa.
You heard it here first, unless it doesn't happen.
That's a steep one, Jay Will. You've got a super chat, by the way, that was asked a little earlier.
Oh, yeah? Where oh, here we
You
go.
give yours, you go find that.
Brooks, is Indiana legit? What are your thoughts on them? Thoughts on their schedule? The offense seems to be legit. Their schedule is a poo-poo. If I'm going to give Iowa State some shit for being some undefeated mid, I got to look at Indiana as well. Didn't Indiana lose a limb last week at the soccer stadium against Northwestern?
Signetti.
Yeah, that was a 10-point game going into the fourth against the Northwestern folk. All right, out there in a soccer stadium on the river. All right, so watch out, Indiana may be fraudulent. What are y'all laughing at?
Chad's cooking Ryan Dave.
Oh man,
I'm trying not to bust out laughing with some of these.
The Dutch oven one is crazy.
Dutch oven one is crazy.
What is it?
Well, you know what a
Ryan
Dutch
Day
oven is?
No, I know what a Dutch.
I was about to have to explain a Dutch
know
oven
what a
on air.
Dutch
Ryan
oven
Day
is.
lets his wife Dutch oven him every night.
Oh my God. Did you put in there Ryan Day flushes his farts?
Yeah, I had to let that one go, dude.
Oh my God. Jeez.
All right. Unless it doesn't happen. I can't believe this one hasn't gotten any more, takes around it. But Penn State as the number 4 team in the country. I had Penn State in my playoff poll, and I think that's a little bit too steep at the moment. Traveling all the way across the country to USC, I'm having the Nittany Lions fall. As soon as they get into the top 4, they're getting kicked right out. Penn State falls to USC this week.
I already let go of one of my unless it doesn't happen with Shamaje Perrine's single game rushing record going down. Did you know, I know you guys know this stat, but I want to put this one in front of the audience. Did you know that Ashton Jeanty has more yards after contact than the second leading rusher in the Mountain West Conference right now?
That's an insane stat. Me and Jay Will saw that yesterday. It was absurd.
Absurd.
He's like
Ashton Jeanty yards after contact better than the second best back in the conference.
insane.
Notre Dame thinks that they can just fly under the radar now. Like, we can forget what happened at the beginning of the season. We
cheated
forgot
on your wife in front of national television.
Like
we all saw it.
We forgot that they lost to Northern Illinois earlier this year. And they think that they can just go and beat Purdue, Miami of Ohio, and Louisville, and they're like, oh, we'll just coast quietly throughout the season. We'll end the season 11-1, and then hey, we're in the playoff. No worries there. No, sir. Stanford walking into Notre Dame Stadium. And they're walking out with a victory. They're pulling off this upset, and they're walking out with the sweet taste of Notre Dame playoff hopes just swirling down the drain.
Stanford is
Golden Dome's going down.
Amen.
Stanford being the team to do it would be sick.
This chat is off the rails. It's the way it ought to be on a Thursday night. Do we have anything else?
I've got one final unless it doesn't happen. I kind of alluded to this yesterday, how I think the number 1 spot in college football is cursed this season. It feels kind of like 2007 where you don't want to be ranked number 2 because if you are, almost guarantees you lose. This is the 3rd straight week we've had a different number 1 team. I think it'll be 4 straight weeks. I think Oklahoma is going to beat Texas. And at the very least, if Oklahoma doesn't beat Texas, they will not be ranked number 1 after a very bad performance. It'll be either Oregon or Ohio State, whoever wins that game. Heard it here first unless it doesn't happen.
All right. I think we got a stretch here. So on the fly, I want y'all to pick up some of the best.
We still got to take a peek.
Yeah, we do have to take a peek. Give me a look at some of those best Ryan Days. I want to, on the fly here, give some where we were right, where we were wrong so far through the season.
Oh, I got some Ryan Day ones stored away.
Oh, okay, good. Let's hit them right now while we ad-lib.
Ryan Day pockets to take a penny from the gas station.
Dang.
Ryan Day asks for change from the Sunday offering plate.
Hold on, whoa. Ryan Day's far from broke.
Yeah.
Far from broke.
He looks like it. That's,
Okay.
I guess
He doesn't even look broke, honestly.
No, he doesn't. Looks like he's got too much money.
He looks
Guys,
frugal.
just
Broke folks
laugh.
ain't out here
Good
dyeing their
God.
beard twice a day.
just enjoy a good laugh. Ryan Day looks like a burnt match. I know we should stay away from it, but that made me giggle.
That's pretty good.
And then Ryan Day, the type of person to say, guys, I needed this at guys' night.
That's a Drake one.
By the way, I'm that guy. I'm definitely that guy.
I mean, let's be
Guys,
honest.
I needed
That's
this.
a good person
Everyone's
to have in
that
the group.
guy.
Yeah.
There's nothing better than getting back from a boys' night. I think.
A bro's not that guy. A bros always have those times. You know, if you're always kicking it with the homies, you ain't never had that one come up out your mouth. man, I needed this, guys. Unless your girl just left you, you know.
Yeah, I feel like at least once in every man's life, at least once, you at the very least, you're with the boys and you think, man, I needed this.
Hits me right in the heart.
Hits you right in the heart, makes you feel good, and then makes you a little sad because you know the times are gonna end, and you eventually have to go back home to your normal life where all the. What in the world is he doing?
I'm looking for my college football playoff bracket.
It's over there.
That's why you gotta keep it on your computer.
Oh yeah, I put it on the wall. I knew I put it on the wall.
Well, it's not on the wall, but it's on the desk over there.
Oh, bet.
Yeah.
I want to see where I was on that because I feel like I've.
Mine's right here.
The majority of our brackets are probably shot to shit at this point.
I think mine, well, apart from Florida State,
Nah, man,
mine's holding strong.
mine's kind of hidden, except for 2 picks.
All right. Yeah, Florida State is out.
Yeah.
Notre Dame's still alive.
Yep.
Boise State's still alive.
Yep.
Utah's still alive in the Big 12.
Florida State and Kansas, those are the 2 teams that are completely washed out of mine.
What's Liberty's? Damn it.
Yeah.
I've got Liberty, Florida State's out, Missouri probably out, Kansas, man. Kansas.
Yeah, Kansas killed mine.
Yeah. You guys were way more wrong about Kansas being good than I was wrong about West Virginia being good.
Well,
I think that was two different.
yours a little more sarcastic.
Two wildly different expectations.
I don't think anybody actually believed you were going to war with Neil Brown.
Yeah, I truly believed in my heart of hearts.
I didn't say it with conviction.
I think that was more so, man, I really hope Penn State loses.
Yeah.
Man, I really hope that they just suck again.
I believed in my heart of heart that the Jayhawks would have a special season
Yeah, I
under
did
Lance
too.
Leipold.
I thought Jalen
First time
Daniels
ranked
would be
in
the best quarterback in the
15
conference.
years. I thought Jalen Daniels would be good. Devin Neal.
Yeah,
all those
just-
guys, man. Just Kobe Bryant, this corner, lockdown.
Does Alabama's defense get it right this weekend?
This is the game to do it.
Yeah. I mean,
This is the game where if it's not right, you go, okay, there's legitimate concerns here.
This is South Carolina's a team that you can force turnovers against, or they'll just kind of do it themselves.
Was Ole Miss just getting that much pressure? I saw some clips of Walter Nolan just absolutely balling in that football game. Was that what it was?
It was a hot mess.
Another year of poor O-line play for
Yeah, South Carolina, I think, is bottom 5 in sacks allowed this season. Let me check on that again.
They do have a young quarterback. He's holding the pill.
And they have a true freshman playing
but
left tackle.
he's also more mobile than most quarterbacks.
100%, but his mobility is used in design run calls.
That's true.
South Carolina has given up 22 sacks this season. They were averaging 4.4 per game.
Real quick, how many fumbles does Mans have?
Just Lenoris?
Yes, because I've seen 3 on tape. Two consecutive plays against Kentucky. So this is a really bad, not really bad offense. It's just not consistently good.
What does this game have to look like for Alabama for you to say, okay, you know what? What happened at Vanderbilt, what happened in the second half against Georgia, that's behind them. This is what the Alabama team's going to look like moving forward.
Defensive adjustments. I don't care if they win 41-10, but if they come out there and just play lineup defense again, I'm still going to have questions. Because eventually someone's going to get them again.
Even if they hold them to 10 points?
Even if they hold, it's process, not results, man. It's not, you said it against UCF. You came, or USF, you came in here and said it after Wisconsin.
Yep.
I came in here and said, hey, man, I'm scared.
Yep.
I would be scared of that football team. And you looked at me in my face and said, dude, if Wisconsin had a quarterback, they give up 300 yards passing.
It's very true.
And they've given up a shitload of yardage, and they've been there on tape. It's been there all year. So I want to see some defensive adjustment. I don't care what the score looks like.
So even say they have an offensive explosion.
You talking about South Carolina?
No, Bama. They put up 60.
Oh, well, I don't know about that.
Like if it's that much
Like
of
a 60-35 type football game?
60-20. 60-20 and Bama stays in cover one robber the entire game.
Then maybe I'll believe that they can, just outscore everybody.
Offense their way to it.
And I don't put that past them.
Yeah.
They're a pick 6 away from getting away with that last week.
Yeah, I mean.
They're a pick 6 away from getting away with 500 yards total offense against Vandy.
I don't know how many Sellers has, but the team as a whole has 5, which is 111th in the country.
Nice. Good job, guys.
He's got 3.
Yeah, at least.
I know Ashford. Did he fumble against LSU?
Ashford had one this past weekend. No, I don't think so because he played well in the first half, then he got hurt.
I know he had 2 against Kentucky and then 1 the following week.
Yeah, I don't think
so he has 3 of the 5, I think, because Ashford fumbled this past weekend.
That's the question. What if Bama wins 42-35?
Red flags abundant. in Tuscaloosa.
I think they've gotten to the point where you lose to Vandy, red flags are already up.
Yeah.
It's double red flag. Don't get in the water. The undertow's nasty.
It's did we fire Kalen DeBoer?
No. It's you fire Womack first.
Well,
Yeah.
here's the thing.
But I don't think anyone's getting fired year one. You got to be careful.
They're not getting fired, but the fan base is going to be calling into shows and saying that I've seen enough. He sucks.
I mean, not to do the thing, but after almost 2 million views, they were already. Bama fans went from this guy sucks, I hate this fat mother effer talking this Georgia homer dare to talk Alabama football to, hey, do you got time to be on our staff? I got tagged like 5 or 6 times of Bama fans going, hey, bro, you got some free time? Might need to get you on. Which it's quick. It happens like that. It happened in the Georgia space like
Losing
that,
to
too.
Vandy changes a man.
You get real desperate.
It does.
Changed it a lot. Changed a lot.
They're going to start wearing polos now.
They did. They already are.
Press
Polos.
conferences is next.
We'll see if he coaches in a hoodie. That'll be the line. I do think that's,
if I'm Kalen DeBoer, I'm coming out in a Belichick hoodie. No sleeves, hood up.
Oh, yeah.
I don't give a damn.
I wanted to.
you wanted
I
to.
wanted to. I wanted to so bad.
Pepsi bottle.
Coca-Cola glass? I don't give a dime. Oh, man. Do they?
Peak
I think
internet.
I think they get it right, though.
They should be fine.
Does South Carolina have anybody that can even get open consistently?
No.
They're banged up at wide receiver, too, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
The key to being an Alabama team was have the offense that can counteract what they're going to do on offense alone. And it just so happened Vanderbilt offensively played the perfect game. I know this is so cliche and cheap to say, but if you play that game 10 more times, Bama's probably winning the other 10. Like, that's just how it's going to go. It took a perfect game. It took a perfect scheme. It took opportunities. It took mistakes from Alabama for Vanderbilt to win by 5 points at home. And as great of a win that was and as much of an upset that was, there were a lot of – it took the perfect game from Vanderbilt. I don't think South Carolina, even if they turned in the perfect game, would win this.
What do you guys think of this consistent take that I've seen in Alabama spaces of they thought they could just not have a game plan and still beat Vandy? That they could just – their guys would beat them.
I mean,
I've seen that.
You want to push back on that, but you come out and you say, all right, we're going to go cover one, and that's going to be what we do today.
But that was bad. The worst part about that, and I wish I would have paid more attention to it and called it out more in that film study. I think that film study was really, really good, but I'd give myself a 95, and I was short, maybe even a B, maybe a B+, because I was short on one of the most critical criticisms I had in that football game, major criticisms I had in that football game. He did not match personnel at all. At all. And it was so weird. And it's far more concerning than I'm just lining up playing cover one, because when a team's rotating in 12 personnel, you should adjust.
Yeah.
When a team's out here in 30 personnel, you're still a nickel, and it makes no sense. And they're an option football team. It was just, there was so much about that game where I'm like, what? Did you just didn't you didn't plan?
Is that a scheme concern, or is that you know what, they just were lazy today?
That's that right. If that was what it was, that we don't think we need to, that's a concern.
Is it more concerning than they don't have the ability to out-scheme these teams? Do you think?
Impossible. It's not even that difficult to just be a little bit more diverse, right? I mean, there are high school teams everywhere that have multiple coverage units, and they have them. They've shown them on tape. They did not use them at all in that football game, and it was weird. It was so weird. Never once getting out of man coverage while getting worked for 4 quarters in it. It was weird.
Very weird.
All right, I'm
Taking
good.
a peek?
Oh, yeah, take a peek. Let's do this. Let's have y'all take a peek because your boy forgot to take the notes on it.
Oh, that's...
Thanks for being honest.
Thank you
We'll
for being
carry the
honest.
segment.
Do
First one, this is just a mainstay for me. It's always taking a peek. I got Rutgers versus Wisconsin. Kyle Monnin guy.
Oh, you know why I took this off?
Why?
No Arkansas football this weekend. They're on a bye.
Well, my taking a peek mainstay is here. And honestly, I think I'm forming for 2 of them. I got 2 of them now. Who else? Who are you taking a peek
I'm
at?
going to take a peek and see if the Missouri Tigers can handle going into McGurk Alumni Stadium and
It should
handling
be Screen Shaker Stadium. That's what it ought to be called.
handling that raucous environment coming off of a loss, a brutal loss against Texas A&M. Dropped 12 spots in the AP poll. We're going to be taking a peek there to see if they can handle 2 back-to-back very difficult road environments.
What's with the condescending shaking of the head over there? What is this?
Why are we pumping up UMass football atmospheres.
It's interesting.
Why?
You think this is false juice?
Look,
You
I'm
think this is
just
food?
saying, in the span of 59 minutes, I had to sit here and listen you spew out Vandy national title hopes and now UMass screen shaker.
Hey, that is not a lie. That is not a lie. They were playing South Dakota State or somebody at home. Okay, maybe it was Rhode Island. They were playing Rhode Island at home. Okay, fourth quarter, need a stop, game on the line, had to get a win, first win of the year for them, and the damn screen's shaking because the cameraman is so loud.
That's because the cameraman's tripod was in the stands.
I mean, probably. But the stands were shaking.
Eh?
All right.
'Twas lit.
All right.
Nonetheless, we'll be taking a peek at that.
Oh, I'll be taking a peek.
I'm taking a peek at Northern Illinois at Bowling Green because Harold Fannin Jr., the tight end, he put on a show out there with
yeah?
Connor Bazelak as his quarterback. Taking a peek.
Bazelak catching a stray.
Yeah. Earned.
Why?
That's a good name, dude. You can't hate on a guy with a good name.
No bueno.
Bazelak, W name. I'm going to be taking a peek at this Army UAB game because I want to see just how bad our troops can dub up the Citizens. UAB's been taking some bad L's this week. Army might be a playoff team. I'm definitely taking a peek. Shout out to all of our troops. Shout out to my boy Dylan.
My boy Dylan.
I'm taking a peek at the toilet bowl this weekend. UCF versus Cincinnati. How ugly can it get? How horrible can this football game actually get? Because I think this could be a game where you might have a 4th and 50, or you might have a fumble where nobody touches you. You just throw the ball over your head or something crazy like that and get a scoop and score for 30 yards.
Shout out Kyron Rhodes.
Yeah. So, I'm taking a peek at that one.
Ryan Day wears his wife's robe when she isn't home.
That's so oddly specific. I feel like that's happened.
You
You didn't comment that without having some
I feel like
experience.
Bryce Lewis has done that.
Yeah.
I think that's why he knew to comment that.
Yeah.
Allegations towards you, Bryce Lewis.
All right, this is my final take a peek. And this would be a sit-down watch the full game if it wasn't sandwiched in between LSU, Ole Miss, and Oregon, Ohio State. But the two teams that no top 10 team wants to play this year are finally facing off, Vanderbilt and Kentucky. That's going to be a very interesting game. I will be intermittently watching that as I flip through Oregon and LSU, their respective games.
Ryan Day has every cell phone box he has ever bought.
Dude, is Ryan Day my dad?
Your dad keeps all his cell phone boxes?
Yeah, dude. There's a drawer full of them.
That's weird.
It's even worse.
weird.
If you go down in the basement, every appliance we've ever bought is just the boxes in the basement for storage. It's tough, man.
You know what?
I'm gonna
If he ever
keep an eye
moves,
on your
though,
dad.
he'll be ready.
That's honestly, yeah, that's why they do it. I don't know.
Ryan Day wears socks in the showers.
If it's a public shower, I get it.
What?
No.
Bring a pair of sandals, dude.
I get, bro. Look, if
Come
you're
on.
in a pinch, though,
Socks.
if you're in a pinch and you say, "Damn, I forgot my shower shoes today. I gotta wear the socks."
The
Understandable.
socks ain't doing nothing for you. It's just absorbing
it's a
all
layer.
the
It's
filth.
like condoms.
It
for your
is
feet.
absorbing all the filth.
It's literally just sticking to
all
your
the
socks.
dirt and germs on your body are just in your socks now.
I mean, you're throwing the socks.
And you got
away.
wet socks.
You're throwing the socks away. Like you're not walking out the shower and saying, "All right, let me put my
It's
shoes on."
insane behavior.
I agree, but
Insane
in a
behavior.
pinch, I would understand it. I could justify that one.
Honestly, you'd be better off just sticking your hands inside the wall.
Spider-Man on the shower.
Yeah, just doing that.
The don't catch me pooping in here.
Who's in here?
Hey, somebody's taking a shit.
Oh my god.
We have a whole other hour coming up right now. We'll see you on the other half.
Welcome into Talk the Dog, the show where we find a bone to pick and a take to give. These are not hot takes. These is dog takes. Can I talk that dog?
What's up? You really like that?
Let's shut up and grind some tape.
Here, throw it down in the. Throw a chair in there, dude. Ceiling tile in the toilet.
Bro,
I miss high school, man.
what were you doing in high school bathrooms?
Dude, we were.
I was just smoking cigarettes.
Oh,
What were you? Were you an extra
are you
in
in the
Greece?
70s? An extra in Greece.
Welcome into our local hour. We got a great one for you. We got Map It Out with final predictions in this Mississippi State-Georgia football game. Can you create a possible path to a Mississippi State win without using the word turnovers? We're going to try tonight. We have some Mike Bobo statistics because I got tired of listening to it on social media today. We're going to predict game balls as well and might give you a little bit of nostalgic tape. But first and foremost, I'm going to give a quick shout out to our friends over at Better. Better now offers college football props. Enter more than or less than key stats on college football players. You can play in 23 states, including the fine state of Georgia. Better is now matching first-time deposits up to $250 if you use promo code Brooks or click the link in the description of this video. What are you giggling about?
They're still going in on Ryan Day in the chat, man.
Yeah, nah, he's getting cooked.
We'll come back to that later.
He's getting cooked.
Oh man.
All right. So we're going to start today's local hour over on the board. I didn't give you a what to expect film study from Mississippi State, mainly because I knew you weren't going to watch it, to be honest with you, okay? So what I did do is I went and got some all-22 footage from their game against Mississippi State, or Texas rather, last week, and just going to give you a still shot photo and a still shot talk through of who they are, what their personnel packaging is, how they go about playing football. All right, so here it is. This is a different shot. I got a ball on the left hash. I got a ball in the middle of the field, and they will align differently, all right? They're going to really, really attack you. If I were Jeff Lebby, I would always want the ball on the hash because I can really mess and finesse with the spacing. They are very similar to Tennessee in the sense that they're going to make you play the full 53 and a half, all right? They're going to stretch you out and stress you out, all right, in these areas. It looks to me like I would imagine Texas is playing some type of cover 3 zone against them. I would play a lot of zone coverage against this football team. I want a lot of eyes on the lines of scrimmage. I want a lot of eyes and hats dedicated to all their RPO actions. This play, for example, is a jet sweep to this field, all right? They're going to space you out, get all this grass over here with pace, all right, and run to it. The other things that they can do, obviously, is, attack some of these vertical spacings and vertical routes like Tennessee does as well. They're a very fast-paced offense like we told you the other night when we looked at them. All right, get me to the other photo of this offense if you can, Jonathan. All right, here's the other one. This is ball in the middle of the field, okay? With the ball in the middle of the field, the very next snap, look at the spacing again. They're going to space you into duos all the way out. It still, again, looks to me like Texas is playing some type of zone coverage against these guys, all right? And the way I know that is the alignment of the second-level defenders. If you go out and look at a defense and see the second-level defenders on a very similar line, all right, and very similar spacing, they are probably playing some type of zone coverage. They all have hook curl responsibilities. Again, I would play a very similar style of defense against these guys, all right? The defensive film. Let me get my notes because I got some actual personnel data points on these guys. All right, J. Will's giving you the stats on social media. They are not a very good defense from a standpoint of havoc plays. They don't turn you over at a high rate. They create some fumbles, all right, which is a very weird stat, to be honest with you. It's very up and down, our fumble creations, year in, year out. All right, but let's take a look at their personnel. I think they got 2 different type of personnel units. They play an odd front and they play an even front. Their personnel packages will dictate that, all right? Let's look at these guys right here. Number 44 right here, this is their third linebacker when they play their 3-3. That's a defensive lineman, that's a defensive lineman, that's a defensive lineman. Those 3 football players average about 6'4", 285 pounds. They're very similar body types. This is their quote-unquote nose tackle, though he's not a fire plug like we see most times in the SEC. Guys weighing about 290 pounds. Or excuse me, 310 pounds is that individual right there. All right? So when they play this package, they play a lot of zone coverage behind it as well. This is their primary rusher. He plays their jack position.
position. He's about 6'4", 240 pounds, all right? This individual will always be counted in the scheme. All right, he will always be counted as the primary rusher. He will be the fourth down, all right? And as an offensive line in the pass protection department, we would identify one of these linebackers as the fifth individual that we're going to account for. We'll put the back on the sixth. We'll put the quarterback on the seventh defender in the box. That is the hot defender, okay? Now, if I were playing this unit, I, based off what I've seen, will probably identify 26 as the in-box player, all right? If not, I would just count whoever's closest to the football, okay? Give me that next slide, Jay Will. You still giggling over there?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, this is there another slide of the defense with the odd front personnel? Okay, that's it. That's the odd front personnel. This is number 44. You see him standing up. Okay, give me that other shot right quick, the one that we just came back from with the 4 down front. I know I'm messing with you, but y'all see that guy standing up. These guys are down. Y'all see that? Hand down, hand down. This is a true 4 down front. All right, when they play this 4 down front, this is number 11. This is number 91. These are traditional NFL defensive ends. These are big guys. These are 6'5", 250-pound, real long, edge-setting defensive ends. All right, their job is to rush the passer, play firm in the run game, but really cloud passing windows. All right, this is what I mean by a different level of personnel. By the way, this is Stone Blanton and another linebacker that comes in. These are 4-2 linebackers. They're not as big. They're not as plug heavy, right? When you play this odd stack, bump back over to that odd stack for me, Jay Will. Okay, when you bump into this odd stack, okay, assume this guy's walked off because they're not in H personnel. All right, let's assume this H is out here. That number 44 is going to do what we call apexing. He's going to walk out and split the difference between the box and the number 2 defender because they're a zone football team. All right, now, when they bump into this, these guys will plug, all right, and they will randomly select which one of these guys will fire. It's why they're, I think, getting gashed in the run game so much, guys. It's because they're not very clean in their run fits out of this odd stack. But what you need to know, all right, they are a soft zone coverage football team. They play a lot of quarters, all right, from what I've seen, at least they played a lot of quarters against Texas, and they're consistent in their back end no matter what they're playing with in their front personnel. Flip me back over to that other clip that we were just looking at with the 4 down front, Jay Will. My bad, I got to get you on the cursor. You're there. All right, here we go. See what I mean with the consistent coverage in the back end? They don't change this. They're going to play that soft shell zone coverage even though they bumped into a 4-2-5 personnel. They're going to stay in nickel the whole football game. Even when they're in a 3-3-5, they're going to stay in nickel personnel, meaning 5 defensive backs are on the field. All right, so let's talk about how we attack it. All right, in the passing game, I would be double moving the safeties or the corners, really attacking this area of the field. The way I do that, okay, in this quarters scheme, all right, I put my X over there, I put my H over here, and we run simple things like smash concepts, all right, where we run an out here, all right, and then a flag or a corner route into that same void, basically making this corner decide, hey, am I going to play down? And we're going to throw away from leverage of that safety. Another way to attack this defense is very similar to the way that Georgia did against Alabama. Alabama playing that too high safety look, playing cover 2 instead of cover 4, but you can do the same principles on that middle field safety, working a move like maybe a corner post route to the middle of the field because the middle of the field is indeed open. The only way to make sure we hit this route, though, all right, is do what? We have to occupy this safety's eyes. The way we do that is we run across or right up underneath him. All right?
I'll ask you a question from the chat.
What's up?
Brooks, would hitches and slants also work mesh concepts?
All right, so mesh concepts will always work against zone. They also work against man. That's why a lot of teams run them. We're running away from leverage against mesh concepts against zone. We're going to sit them down in the open voids of the defense. So mesh is a universal play. We run it no matter what. What was the other question? Hitches. Yes, hitches certainly against quarters match is something to go with as well. Now, they hitch and goad. They Hugoed, as we call it around here. Hitch and goad. Kentucky's quarter match just didn't get it hit because Kentucky's corners are really veteran. They're smart football players. Okay, so they've tried some of these things, and they have seen some quarters match football teams so far this season. Arguably, Kentucky gave them their biggest test offensively. They were a quarters match football team. However, Kentucky's far better in here and at the nickel than Mississippi State, and that goes without saying.
All right, so we kind of talked about this after the Auburn game where
Hold on. Get me back into that odd front look where the defensive ends stand up. Go ahead.
where teams will kind of show you what they are throughout the season, and then when they play Georgia, we're going to do something completely different. Could you see Mississippi State doing that here? Do you think they'll stay true to their cover four?
So the deal with odd front defenses is none of them play man coverage. All right, when you're a true 3-3-5 football team, you're not playing man. All right, because of the way that they plug those linebackers, they don't have an option to keep him tagged with the back out of the backfield, right? Because we're always plugging, and it's a random selection, and then we have to play zone back behind it. So no, historically, 3-3-5 teams do not play a lot of man coverage.
Next question I have for you is, thinking off of my head, the last 2 times, and I know there's probably been more recent times, Georgia's played 3-3 defenses. 2021 Arkansas.
Run game's really struggled usually.
2023 or 2022 TCU. Run game did pretty well in both of those games. Do you think this is a game where maybe we see a run explosion to where Trevor Etienne's got a really good day, you get the running game really involved, or is it you think it's going to be the opposite?
This team's been really bad against the run so far this season. And a lot of teams have had success running the ball. And I think the reason why is because they can be schemed up. So I asked Jonathan to get us back into this look right here. Look at how much grass is available right here, right? If I just do something simple like run a little motion and crack this inside linebacker and then pin and pull, like now we have a tackle on a corner, all right, and the safety's now going to have to run the alley on a back into the boundary. All right, so I think that's part of the reason why they're so attackable in the run game. Also, they're just not SEC deep yet. Right? This is first year under Levy, so fourth quarter comes, third quarter comes, their offense has left them on the field for 3.5 quarters of the 4-quarter football game. They're going to get gashed. I think that's something we've seen consistently with this football team. And just schematically, they're pickable. You can get them in the run game.
Do you think this is going to be another game where it's similar to Auburn, where they're just going to do their best to keep everything in front of them? You're going to drive the field on them, 10-play drives, but you will not get a 50-yard bomb against them.
I think this quarter's match football team is very attackable in vertical shots.
Is that because of a skill issue or scheme?
No, they're double movable. They're very much so double movable. And when you can run the football, and I'm gonna talk about this in my map it out predictions. When you can really, really run the football, all right, and we can put the ball into the belly of the back, this safety in the middle of the field, they're really, really grabby. They have to add into the box. So if he's closest, this guy's never going to add into the run. You can see pre-snap, he's already bailing. He's already on his heels. This guy's eyes are in the box. He's responsible for this portion of the field, but he's really responsible for being that, hey, don't give up a big breaker, hat into the box. So with that being said, right, these guys have no real help in this area of the field. All right, Arch Manning's big pass in this game was a deep post in the middle of the field. All right, so I think these guys are gettable on double moves, right? And I certainly think there's a lot of area and a lot of grass in this area of the football field to work with. Hey.
You were about to draw one.
Hey. We good?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think we should do that a little bit more often on the live shows to just kind of let people know what we're about. Though I did do some data crunching, some numbers crunching on our network. We have a split audience. We have audiences that only watch our videos, which means they're only watching film. And then we have a portion of the audience that watches everything. Thank you to you guys.
Shout out, y'all.
All right. And then there's like 7% who only watch the live shows. So,
Dang.
yeah. People come for the film. I'm hoping they stay for the live show. I have more fun doing this than anything else that I do.
Yeah.
Tonight has been an obvious sign of that. Great local hour for you guys. I've already done the better read, so we're good on that forefront. Already went to the board. Big and old front. I envision an explosive day passing the football. Also think they can be schemed up in the run. Multiple fronts out of nickel, 4-2-5, 3-3-5. Lots of zone defense. There's the overview of this football team. All right, let's get into it. Let's map it out.
Let's do it.
Map it out with predictions. Who wants to go first?
You go first, Kirby.
I'll
I
go
was about
first.
to say, I've been talking for 15 minutes, so somebody take the mic.
So this is a team that, look, Mississippi State is what it is. We know it's an SEC opponent. You should always respect them. Humility's a week away. This is not a SEC caliber football team, and it should not play Georgia like they're that. Georgia should come out this game, and I predict them to do so. They will come out and score in their first drive, whether that is a 2 yards explosive drive or it's a 12-play, just march it right down the field, have no issues drive. They will score on the first drive, and it will kind of be a quick 3-and-out or, 4 or 5 play drive for Mississippi State before they have to punt, and Georgia's just going to absolutely lean on them. My biggest prediction for this, though, is how it's going to map out. Is at some point in this game, whether it's the second quarter, whether it's the first play of the game, whether it's the third quarter, as soon as you come out of halftime, everyone in the crowd and all the fans are going to be looking around saying, where has this been all season? Why does our offense not look like this? Oh, Mike Bobo's finally calling good plays, yada, yada, yada. I think you're going to see this type of game because there's that much opportunity for Georgia to score points here.
You got a final score?
I have the final score. I wrote it up earlier. I believe I put 42-9 was my final score prediction.
All right. This is a very, very particular map it out. I see, like you, Georgia scoring on their first drive, but here's how they're going to do it. 7 runs out of 10 total plays on the way to a first possession touchdown. 10 plays, 75 yards, most of which on the ground, really setting the tone in this football game. Like you, I got a quick 3 and out for Mississippi State as soon as they touch it. That moment, as soon as Georgia gets the ball back, notices, confirms that quarters match coverage, double move, bingo, bango, bongo, touchdown immediately. 14-0 turns into a 17-3 score by the half. 24-3 after Georgia's first opening possession of the second half. Big games for Trevor Etienne and the offensive line. Explosive day for Dominic Lovett and Arian Smith. I think they attack those safeties. I think they really do. Get after those guys in that quarters match coverage. Give me a final score of Georgia, 41-10.
Oh, you're very similar line of thinking for me. I simply put this as I think this is going to be one of those midseason games where Georgia just turns it on and they absolutely dominate for 4 quarters. I think that Georgia's defense is going to shred this Mississippi State offense, and I think Georgia's offense is just going to work their way down the field time and time again, really wear down that defense, and they're going to be very successful. They're going to be very efficient on offense, and I really don't see any issues for Georgia at all this football game. I think it's just going to be a nice, easygoing, but assertive and very confident feeling leaving that football game. Like I think the fan base, the players, the staff, I think everybody's going to walk away with this game of, we finally got it. We finally got that one win that we wanted, that we could just build ultimate confidence from. We had a lot of things that went right for us, and we really couldn't gripe about anything. So I think it's just going to be a nice, clean game. I think it's going to be very satisfying as well. I got Georgia winning 41-7.
When was the last time Georgia played a clean, perfect football game, start to finish? Like one of those games where it's like, damn, Georgia came out just
outside
fit
of
to be
the Orange
tied.
Bowl.
Outside of Orange Bowl. Which was an example of this. Boy, did they come out firing.
Yeah.
in that
Ole Miss
football
was
game.
a pretty clean. You had
Kentucky was as well.
I mean, look, they drove down the field and scored twice in the first 2 drives, but that's a good offense. Jackson Dart's a good quarterback. Other than that, you were absolutely perfect throughout that game. I think that's one. 2022 Natty was definitely one. They have them every few games.
I think they're due, is what I was getting to.
I agree.
I think
agree.
they're due for one of these football games where it's clean start or opening whistle to closing whistle. Yeah, y'all, some of the chat went all the way back to Oregon.
I think you've had some in between.
You've had
that.
some. You've had
But, I
definitely
mean, if you're
more.
talking about regular season, you might be going back that far.
It's not like they're just littered with them last year or anything like that, or even but I think that Kentucky or Ole Miss is a good one from last year.
Absolutely.
This is going to be the one. I feel that
agree.
way.
Good.
All right, this is the challenge tonight. This is the real difficulty, considering how we all just mapped this football game out. Is there any way you can map out a Mississippi State win without the word turnover? I'll go first. No, you can't. But I'll try. I'll
what I
try
was gonna
really,
say.
really hard. I'm going to try. You got to have 2 trick play explosive touchdowns. Double end around, pass, something.
Like Georgia opened the game against them in 2017.
Yeah. Pull a rabbit out of the hat and then pull his twin brother right out. Boom. There you go.
2 rabbits.
2 rabbits right up
2
out the
rabbits,
hat.
1 hat?
You got to sack Beck at least 3 times. Now, here's the problem. I don't think they have a single game does Mississippi State with multiple sacks.
No.
They're not good at it.
No.
They're not good. So you got to do something you're not good at. You cannot have a singular 3 and out offensively. Mississippi State can't have a singular 3 and out. All right, they just don't maintain possession enough to be out here 3 and out. All right, and they 3 and out faster than anybody else. They'll 3 and out with like 5 seconds ran off the game clock in a game in which they're down 2 scores. It's catastrophic to a team that's trying to do something that they're trying to do on Saturday. And also, they just got to find a mythical performance from the run game. Just out of nowhere, because it ain't been good. It ain't been terrible for Mississippi State this year on the ground, but it's got to be way better than it has been. So those are all the things, and I still think that even that performance is like a fourth quarter, sweater.
So in other words, Mississippi State has to become a completely different team.
Facts.
Everything
right.
has to be
Facts.
completely different.
Any given Saturday, probably not this one.
So I hate doing these types of analysis, but the only way you're going to win this game with Mississippi State without turnovers is two things. Anything good Georgia does has to be immediately called back for a penalty, and they have to then punt.
Oh, the Zebras are in on it.
Yes, if Carson Beck has a 75-yard touchdown pass, illegal man downfield, false start, whatever, take it off the board. That has to consistently happen and kill your drives. And second, you need some key players for Georgia to suffer injuries.
Ryan Day reads 1990s romance novels.
All
What
right.
do you got?
With candles in the bathtub.
Oh, yeah.
In the bathtub?
That's way better.
Yeah.
That's way better. You just
you know, like-
described my mother.
You sprinkle the
What's
candles
the
around
appeal
the
on
bathtub.
candles in the bathtub?
Oh, it's just ambiance.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
you don't want the gleaming light on top of you. You just want some soft light.
I think baths are fading.
I haven't taken one in.
Yeah, I don't think women, I feel like, are most known for baths.
Yeah.
My wife does not take baths.
Yeah, it's like,
Not since I was in elementary school.
Weird question. Your wife take baths?
No, we don't have bathtub, though.
yeah, I don't have a bathtub either.
Or a wife?
It's true.
You keep rocking that shit right there, you might pull one off, though. You got that shit on tonight.
Thanks, man.
Got that shit on tonight.
Just do your cruise down Broad Street tonight.
Yeah, just take you a stroll.
See what
It
happens.
is a Thursday.
Yeah. Prime.
He's got to be.
Nah, I'm not. I'm not, dude. Trust me.
Jonathan and I are still trying to figure out Christian. We're still trying to figure him out.
I don't know. I mean,
You think you got him pinned?
I carpooled with the guy for a good bit. I don't know if I have him pinned, but I think I know. I can say I know Christian.
Okay. I'm still waiting. We got a 15-hour ride out to Austin, so we might.
If you don't
we might
figure it out, then
something
he may just not want you to know who he is.
You're right. Did you map this out for Mississippi State?
He already gave
Oh,
it.
my bad.
Oh, for Mississippi State?
Yeah, for Mississippi State to win this without turnovers mentioning.
I can't say anything that you guys have already said. Like, it's that's it.
Terrific.
Yeah, I didn't even want to put it into ether, but injuries have to be a factor in this
Yeah.
game.
I
And
guess
you don't want to say that, but that's the only way it really
Dude,
happens.
they could Gunner Stockton Wildcat their way to a 28-10 win.
I think they could Ryan Puglisi hand it off every single time their way to a win this game.
the only thing I would throw
They
in
can
is
play with 10 men on offense.
All right, oh, shit. That's getting clipped. That's so getting clipped if Mississippi State wins this game.
Dude, if Mississippi State wins this game, the last thing I've got to worry about is getting clipped.
yeah.
Okay, I've got way more primary
man.
concerns than that.
Yeah, that's true.
Most of which the Discord.
Yeah.
The place would be torched. La Flama Blanca up in that thing.
The only other thing I would throw in is you would have to have a special teams touchdown. You would have to
Yes.
have one.
They had one in 22.
They did have one right before the half, and it was
Yeah.
like, and then Ladd McConkey.
I mean, if your quarterback completes 92% of his balls like Will Rogers did the last time they came here, you might be all right.
Yeah, nah.
It's not plausible. All right, let's predict
Well,
the
they
game
also
balls.
that was also the Mike Leach experience. Like,
Yes, it was. Let's predict the game balls. Offensive game ball, I think it's going to be Dominic Lovett. That's who I think. That's who I got.
he's always a solid one.
I hope it is. I really do. I want him
That
to
short
have a
side
breakout.
safety. They're going to get him.
I hope it is. I just went with Carson.
Fake Dover up.
I just went with
about
Carson Beck. I think Carson Beck's going to have a really
good
strong day.
Right?
Yeah.
They've been running that smash concept so many times with that Dover from the third option. It's almost like a red zone up. Do you still have photos up on the board?
I can get them for you. Yeah.
You know the
what you're
audience
talking about.
really knows the red zone up and red zone up call from College Football 25. I just mentally had this one. I want to get this on clip because if it happens, I'm gonna look like a genius.
You want the 3 down or?
It doesn't matter. I just want that quarter shell right there, that one. All right, I told you, this safety's eyes are a little leaky, right? He likes to get in on that run game. Short side safety, not the far side safety, all right? So this short side safety, he's really leaky. Let's motion back over to duos right here. Let's call this Dominic Lovett, okay? Let's call this number 6 right here. Now, y'all run a lot of this, smash concept out of duos, right? And the backside read is this deep over from Dominic Lovett. They hit London Humphreys on this to finish off the game against Auburn last week. Now, let's envision hitting this Dover running across this safety's face, getting him to bite down, and then slipping behind him right there, a little Dover up, if you will. All right, so these are the types of double moves I would be working against these quarter match concepts based off of what we do as an offense, right? We put in a play. We know that there's a double move bit up off the play. We have to run the play first, all right, and then come back to the double move later once we presented the look. All right?
I like that one.
I do too.
Shout out to the Bobo, man.
That shit hit.
Predict game balls. Offensively, I gave it to Dom Lovett. Defense, I think it's a big Tyrion Ingram-Dawkins game again.
Yeah.
As much read option stuff as they do, as much mesh point stuff as there is, you need a big, long defensive end to play strong and play well. Bounce back game for the defense. Glenn Schumann maybe pitching a shutout this weekend.
This would be the one.
Yeah. So I got a
be the
game
one.
ball going to Shu.
When's the last
Love it.
shutout Georgia had?
I'll find out. Go ahead.
Offensively, I gave it to Carson Beck. I think it's just going to be a strong performance from him all around. Like a 350-yard day, 3 touchdowns, completing 80% of his passes. That's kind of the day that I envisioned for Carson Beck on Saturday. A really strong performance. So people feeling really good about Carson Beck walking away from Saturday. Defensively, a team that gives up a lot of sacks. You went with TID. I'm going Jalen Walker this time. I think that he's going to have another monster day. He's been the hot hand on that defense. He's been one of the stronger personnel on that defense. I think he's going to have a really big day for them on Saturday. And then my coach of the game, I would say, is going to be Trey Scott, because I'm going to, again, go back to a team that gives up a lot of TFLs. They give up a lot of sacks. You can really get this offensive line. So I think the defensive line as a whole is just going to have a really strong, good day.
Vanderbilt 2022, you beat them 55-0. You also goose-egged Sanford that year, 33-0.
Impressive. So for mine, I went offensive being Aaron Smith. There has not been a game this season where we haven't said if Aaron Smith catches this ball, or if Carson Beck makes a good throw, or if they connect, and sometimes they have connected. I think they finally get on the same page here. Aaron Smith is going to have at least 2 catches of 30-plus yards or more, maybe even like a 60-yard touchdown bomb. I think this is finally the game everything clicks for that offense, especially Aaron Smith. Defense, I went Jalen Walker. He's been a disruptor in anywhere, in any facet of the game. Probably going to still play that will position with Smile out, presumably. So I think he's primed for another big game. And then coaching, I have Mike Bobo. I think Mike Bobo gets a lot of unnecessary heat. We've talked about it all the time, how a lot of the criticisms that are directed toward Mike Bobo are unwarranted. I think this is one of the games where you don't give the critics an option. You just have the absolute perfect game. Your offense gives you the exact executions that you need. I have Mike Bobo getting the coach of the week.
I think we're being a little too hard on this football team and their lack of perfection right now. And here's why I say that. I remember what it felt like in this fan base for you guys after that Kent State at Missouri back-to-back in 2022. I remember what you guys were talking about. Y'all were running for the hills. Everybody was panicking.
Bench Lad McConkey.
Bench Lad McConkey. What the hell's going on with our defense? We gave up multiple explosives to Kent State.
Carson Beck?
Yeah. I mean, Stetson Bennett, can't believe you came back for another year. What the hell is this shit? It was not good. It was not good at all during that two-game stretch. At least we won the Natty
last year, guys. We've always got that to hold on to.
And then what did they do right after that? 42-10 against Auburn, 55-0 against Vandy, 42-20 against Florida. The rain game against Tennessee, 27-13.
Dubbed.
And then they went out. I'm not saying that's what they're going to do. I just remember what it was. I remember what it was covering that football.
It very much feels like the last 3 seasons, 22, 23, and this year.
There's been a lull stretch.
Yeah, there has been a lull stretch, and I mean it's hard to argue that you're not in it right now. You have a 28-point deficit to open the game against Alabama. Auburn game wasn't necessarily anything to write home about. You beat Kentucky by 1 point. I think you're getting up on out of the lull stretch here. I would venture to say that this is the game where everyone goes, oh, that's right, Georgia is a good football team. Let's not panic.
All right, those are the game balls being predicted. Now, had some Mike Bobo stuff go on social media today.
Boy, did we.
And there was an individual that just kept talking about nonsense about Bobo's shit against top 25 opponents. Wasn't that the overall premise of my man's
Yeah, never won an SEC championship.
Yeah.
He's 1-12 versus top 5 teams.
Games.
Yeah, can't win the big games.
Yeah, can't win the big games. Guys just shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we did what we normally do, and we ran some numbers.
Of course
right?
you did.
All right, so let's take it to the board.
All right, so these are records of Mike Bobo as an offensive coordinator with points per game, and the key stat, points per game allowed by the defenses with which he was playing with. All right. So this is top 25 opponents, points per game, and record. Where do we want to start with this here analysis on this chart?
Let's go 2008 because I feel like that was a very disappointing year.
All right, so we're looking at 2008 right now. Who is the quarterback on this football
That
team?
is
in
Matthew
2008?
Stafford.
This would be Stafford. I'm asking and I'm playing dumb here on some of these. All right, Stafford was the quarterback. That is not good. Explain this away either way. This is a bad, big hairy hand ugliness for Mike Bobo's record.
Yeah, this was, you came into the season feeling really good about your team. You got pretty much a very similar game that you played against Alabama this year where they got up early on you in the first half. You had to come crawling back. We also have that iconic Florida game where Urban Meyer was taking timeouts at half. I believe you also lost to Tennessee this year. So just a very disappointing year.
No, you beat Tennessee this year. You lost to Alabama. You lost to Florida. Then you went and lost to Georgia Tech as well.
Oh, that was the one
you blew.
They blew a big first half lead against Georgia Tech. The famous the safety just tried to push the guy out of bounds, didn't get it done. So, yeah.
It was just a weird, kind of up and down year because you played LSU. You beat them 52-38.
This is unacceptable. Oh,
the Diddy counter.
Diddy counter got action. Zoom back in on us. All right, there you go. This right here is unacceptable, obviously, for the offense with which they had. However, I don't know how many football games you're winning like that.
No.
I don't know how many football games you're winning giving up 37 points a game.
To go over the losses, you gave up 41 points to Alabama. You gave
Never
up
winning that game.
49 points to Florida.
And
Never
that game
winning
was
that
over.
game.
Both of those games were pretty much over at halftime.
And then you also gave up 45 to Georgia Tech.
You should have won that game.
They should have won that
first
game.
half.
They were up like 14
But
points.
still,
at
giving up
halftime.
40-plus points to all your ranked opponents.
All
It's
right.
not a recipe.
So what happened in 2009? Because this is ugly too.
2009, that would be the Joe Cox experience.
Oh, there we go. We got coxed.
Yes.
All right. So that is the Joe Cox era of college
Yes.
football for Georgia.
Should have beaten LSU.
Yeah.
Should have beaten LSU this season. Florida.
Hey, look, Joe Cox, hell of a football coach. Probably going to get an offensive coordinator job very, very soon within the next 3 or 4 years of this statement. Wasn't the best SEC quarterback. I think we can all agree upon that.
Florida game, that was when they were. By the way, those black helmets they wore against Florida that year, so nice.
So what is this? Because
That is Aaron Murray's freshman year.
Oh, these are multiple friends of the show, Joe Cox and Aaron Murray, taking fat L's right here on the live stream. That's unfortunate. Toothless boy wonder, freshman year taking some hefty L's.
The only losing season of Mark Richt's career.
Now, look, he that was a tough draw for a freshman season. You had to play a ranked South Carolina team week 2. You had to play a ranked Arkansas team the next week. You had to go to Colorado that year. You had to go to Mississippi State, at Kentucky, Florida, at Auburn late in the season. It was a tough draw.
Who were his best weapons as a true freshman?
That would have been
A.J. Green?
It was like
But he was suspended,
He
wasn't
was suspended the first 4 games.
A.J. Green
Yeah.
was suspended for the first 4 games. You had Washawn Ely and Richard Samuel as your running backs. I want to say the next best wide receiver was,
This may have been Malcolm Mitchell was on the team at this point, I want to say.
I believe so. I think he got a medical red shirt. But Malcolm Mitchell also was hurt. I think he got hurt in the Tennessee game.
Oh,
So-
yeah.
All right. So as bad as this 2008 season is, this right here sticks out like a sore thumb to me. Who was the quarterback in 2014, a year in which
Hudson Mason.
Hudson Mason went 4-1 against top 25 opponents and averaged 35 points a game?
That would be correct.
Boy, that coordinator should have been hired out for a head coaching job after that, huh?
Now, Hudson Mason, for the first half of the season, had Todd Gurley, and then the second half had 2 guys by the name of, Sonny Michel and Nick Chubb.
Not bad.
But still, quarterback play is necessary. And Hudson Mason was serviceable in his year at Georgia, but
Hudson Mason
putting up
was
35 points off running backs,
peak game manager.
you're
Hudson
dialing
Mason.
it up. As I think the year that sticks out to me the most is 2013. You're giving up 44 points per game.
45. That's 45. I don't care what you say.
And
That's 45.
6.
We round up round these parts.
6 ranked opponents that season. You gave up 45 points per game on average.
That
mean,
means
think
there's
about-
a 50 burger or 2 in there.
Oh,
in
yeah.
there.
Think about every good win that Georgia had that season. LSU, shootout. South Carolina, shootout. Had to beat Georgia Tech in double overtime, shootout. They were all shootouts where your offense prevailed. None of Georgia's losses that season were because of, oh my God, the offense is terrible this year.
Yeah, you gave up 43 to Auburn, 31. You gave up 31 to Vanderbilt, 41 to Missouri.
They lost that game too.
31 to Tennessee, 41 to LSU, 30 to South Carolina, 38 to Clemson.
And look, guys, there's an obvious line of demarcation here. All right? There's an obvious line of demarcation where not only are they really good on offense, but finally they're really good on defense. And you know what the line of demarcation is? It's a guy by the name of Kirby Smart. And I think every time I do one of these exercises of looking, and with Bobo, it's the most glaring, obviously, because he coached and coordinated under Mark Richt, and he coached and coordinates now under Kirby Smart. But the difference in the level of program that you have is no more apparent than when you do exercises like this. All right, because you've gotten so much better all around the football, except for one position, wide receiver. Wide receiver was better when he was here last time. It's indisputable. All right, it was much better. All right, everything else around this football program is drastically improved under Kirby Smart.
Yeah, and the last thing I was going to point out is when Mike Bobo was initially hired in 2023, from 2007, when he became offensive coordinator at Georgia, throughout head coaching at Colorado State, Auburn, South Carolina, he had never in his career had a top 15 defense, ever.
It's almost statistically impossible. You
Good
coach at
God.
Georgia for 8 years, 9 years, however long.
And 2 other SEC teams, not one top 15 defense.
Sorry,
crazy,
Coach. That's tough. It is funny, though, that you look back on those teams, and if you ask any typical Georgia fan, what was wrong for that, that
Too many draws on 3rd and 12.
too many quarterback draws. Mike Bobo sucked. It was all that. That's why we couldn't win games. Buddy, your defense gave up 45 points against ranked opponents, and you had national title aspirations. That was after the 2012 season. Hell, you gave up 38 points in 2011 when you were an East champion.
Yep.
Boo-boo.
Boo-boo for Bobo.
Fire him. Cook him. Throw him to the swamp.
The swamp.
Where are we at? Where are we going?
We've got Sunday's headlines
Ooh, I
today.
like these. I got some. I'm
Oh,
in my
I know
bag.
you do.
I'm in my bag. Speaking of being in his bag, Sunday's headlines today. Bobo in his baggins. Dogs destroy dogs with deep shot display. Keynote here, dogs the first time spelled D-A-W-G-S the proper way. Dogs spelled the second time D-O-G-S. Bobo in his baggins.
I like it. I've got Bulldogs turning cleanest offensive performance of the season in major victory over Mississippi State. We've talked about how all the,
The headline there.
I wanted to avoid the dogs on dogs thing because you had just said it, so I didn't want to get allegations or copying. But I do think we talked about how this is going to be one of the cleanest performances we're predicting for offense as far as Carson Beck connecting with receivers, blocking, all that goes. I think that's going to stand out in the headlines.
Georgia dominates Mississippi State in dog-on-dog crime. Same thing going on with the dogs.
Nice. Beck back on ballot. 400-yard flashing in Athens.
Ooh, 400. Turn me up.
That was a lot.
I just wanted the Beck back on
the
ballot.
emphasis on the B's in those words was so strong.
Well, yeah. Got to hammer the alliteration.
I get it. Georgia's offense has life. Mike Bobo silences critics.
Boo! You write that headline on SI, I'm going to send it back. not grabby enough, dude. That ain't nobody clicking on that. Ain't nobody clicking on that.
Georgia's offense finds its groove in most crucial moment.
This segment is just becoming an alliteration contest for him.
Yeah, you're booing that.
He's
People click on that.
leaning too much in the Parks and Rec thing now.
Electrifying Etienne edges closer to Bulldogs excellent.
He does what?
Bulldogs best back in some time? Question mark?
You don't talk about lengthy and
Lengthy,
sir.
What did ETN do?
he edges closer.
Okay, all right.
Edges just slightly closer to excellence.
Wow, man. Is this a game where Carson Beck could get back in the Heisman ranks, you think? Top 5 odds at
How does
least?
Beck back on ballot?
So you're buying it then?
No. I've already told you that ship sailed.
You think so?
Yeah, it's gone. Buddy, you got to go nuclear. Nuclear for 6 games.
I don't think you have to go nuclear.
Yes, you do.
To get
I gave
invited
you
to
the
New
stats
York?
last
To get
time,
invited
man.
to New York?
Invited is one thing. That's one thing. But the last couple of years, it doesn't matter if you get there. There's been a clear, obvious winner.
Yeah.
You know? And right now, I mean, it is a stat award, and there are some bonker stats.
But
going on right now.
say things go chaotic like we talked about before. We already are pretty much guaranteed Colorado's going to lose at least 2 more games. Can we agree on that?
Whoa, hold on. Stop the track. Etienne is as good as any Georgia 6A running back, sir. Trevor Etienne's probably going to be the second back off the board this year in the NFL draft.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I would have
That
learned
is a
one thing.
take.
To be fair, look at who commented it.
That's true.
Well,
that might be a little bit of a tease.
That's on me.
That might
That's
be a
on
little
me.
bit of a troll job.
Yeah,
there.
that's on me. I fell for a troll. Good shout, Junk Saban.
Well, that's okay. Drunk Saban can be grouped with these people. Facebook Georgia fans do not like Trevor Etienne.
Facebook Georgia fans are 45 and over, and they talk about, I miss the days when Herschel was here. They're a little bit out of touch. Sorry.
Wait a minute. What Facebook walls you reading?
The ones I post my articles in.
Trevor Etienne's not good, according to Facebook?
Yeah, I wrote an article talking about how Etienne has turned into the offensive playmaker that they wanted him to out of the transfer portal. And I had people saying, like, well, I don't know what games you're watching. And I was like, oh, my bad.
I'm telling you, dude, the Facebook Georgia fans are just a little bit out of touch.
I'm trying to think of the craziest thing I've seen on Facebook right now, and I can't get to it.
It's not Georgia football.
All the fake articles nowadays on Facebook are crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, man. And they're getting people, too.
Yeah.
Ooh, they're getting people.
We had to write an
I saw-
article from it.
I saw an article on Facebook one time where it was like Carson Beck and Kirby Smart get into argument over a new girlfriend.
And the headlines and the URLs of these articles are always the most comical looking things ever.
Mm-hmm. It's getting wild.
No, which one? This one, the first 5 games.
I think we did get a super chat earlier that was supposed to be a question, but he didn't get the question in from Dustin Davis. So let me go back up and hit this. Super chat, and then Dustin came back with the question. Meant to ask a question. How does one get a Film Guy quarter zip? The one that I got on right now. This is special edition. This is 101. Yeah,
tough.
this is.
I did update.
This is me, myself, and I.
I did update the merch link
Okay.
in our description. So if you guys ever want T-shirts, hoodies, anything like that, you can click
Hats,
the link
those
down
hats
below.
are dope.
The hats are
Got two
good.
style of hats. If you're a trucker hat guy or a golf hat guy, we got both.
I was having a conversation with myself the other day of, do I want the gray hoodie or the black one?
Both.
Just gonna end up getting both. It's just gonna happen.
Hey, buddy, you don't have to buy those. Don't do that. I'll go pick one up for you.
Aw.
Dude, sick, dude.
Let's go.
You don't get one.
It's okay. You got me a Raiders sweatshirt. No.
That thing
I'm
counts
very
for
thankful
life.
for it.
That thing's
Very
sick.
thankful for it.
Would
Do
you
you get
like?
any compliments outside of the show for that?
Yeah, I've gotten a couple of them.
Be like, that thing's sick.
Yeah.
Would you
And
like
then they
some
immediately shit on the Raiders. but it's
fun
fine.
nostalgic tape?
I love fun stuff.
Oh, man.
This might be the most. Oh, hold on, let me get it ready. I had the names up there and everything, so let me get it pulled
don't
up,
cheat.
full screened, everything. This is both just fun and mesmerizing and everything. It
This man
delivers.
is facing the wall.
Let me know when you're ready.
We are ready.
You're ready.
sure?
You go to the board,
Yeah.
man.
Okay, let's go.
I will be shocked if you can get this tape.
Looks like the high school that Caleb Williams played at.
First of all,
In
what
purple.
position do you think you're about to scout? Just eyeball scout it real quick.
A defensive back, maybe?
Nope.
All right, let's take a look. A quarterback. Wow. And he didn't play quarterback in high school or in college?
He did not.
Okay. What did he – is this a defensive player?
This is a defensive player.
Is this Devod Wilson?
It is not. That's a good guess, though. There
Played
he is.
defense in college.
There he is playing defensive back.
Yeah. Can you give me a time range?
He won a national championship.
Okay. I'm still trying to place the school. I can't figure out where we're at.
He had a hose, too, dude.
Yeah, I see this. And he played defensive back. Was he a nickel?
He was not.
Played safety?
No, he was a corner.
Oh, yeah, I'm in real trouble now. This isn't Amir Speed, is it?
It is not.
He's too short. You said he won a natty?
He won a natty.
Yep.
Did he play on the natty?
Oh, he played a
He-
crucial
He
role.
played a very crucial role in the natty. He was a starter for the natty.
So it's whoever played opposite of Keely Ringo in that football game.
Who played opposite of Keely in that game? Oh, God. The question is, which natty was it?
21. Oh, my God. No name is coming to my head right now.
Chat got it.
Chat's got it.
He won an MVP in the playoffs.
This is Kamario Asset or Darian Kendrick.
This is.
Wow.
Yeah. When I
See,
saw,
I'm not going to call dirty on you, but you've done this multiple times now where you're pulling transfer tape, knowing good and goddamn well that I was not watching Clemson highlights.
Honestly, I think it's fun to see just like go watch a tape and see if you can figure out any similarities of.
Yeah,
because I think you've done that before.
I have, like body patterns and movements and skills like that for sure. But no, it was never. That's a 5-star, by the way.
Before you go off the board,
yeah.
Skip to 215, like the 210 mark.
Well, it's just up on a couple of plays.
There's a play that is, I don't know why he didn't put it as the first play of his tape. Probably because, he had the other play as quarterback play.
It's this right here.
This is it.
Start researching some more nostalgic tape. I like this tonight. Oh, my God. Oh, he pointed at him. Cam Ward. Well, he's a DB, so that's why. But, yeah, that's cool.
From the 10 to the 36.
10. That's a hose. That's 54 yards.
That's insane.
Quick mouth. I'm gonna go to the wall right quick while you find me another nostalgic tape.
All right, give me like 2 minutes.
I'll be away.
2 minutes? I'm not staring at the wall for 2 minutes.
Yeah, he'll just text me.
Dude, go in timeout. Come on.
He's turned into a damn good pro.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
a damn good pro. Started since his rookie year.
Yeah,
He's still with the Rams?
I think he got injured.
Yeah, that's right. He's missing this entire season because of an injury. But yeah, he was being a meaningful contributor for them.
I got my ass whipped by the chat, huh?
Yeah. Well, I think that.
Well, at first I was thinking
Natty,
you were going to go
like,
Dwan Mathis because of the position and perhaps.
I would have known Dwan Mathis tape.
That's fair.
I scouted him.
He also wanted to do Tyke. I was like, he's like, because he hadn't watched it yet. I said, I guarantee you he can pick out Tyke.
Yeah, probably.
Because.
Squatted.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Very squatted.
Yeah.
That dude plays with better pad level than any human I think I've ever watched.
Is that the one you want?
Let me watch the first. No, it's just against the other teams.
Oh, yeah.
You excited for home field advantage this weekend? You think they turn it up?
I'm interested.
I'm interested to see what the
fans have really.
By the way, he is? Okay.
The fans have really been pushing back on it, especially with, everything that happened earlier in the week. And people are like, see, we'll cheer louder when blah, blah, blah happens. Very, whiny fan.
Very demure. Very
wow, look at you being youthful.
Wow. Good reference.
Good reference.
Look at you. Oh, I got some Ryan Day jokes, a couple of them.
Oh, yeah. Ryan Day jokes.
Ryan Day looks like he gets the meat sweats from drinking milk. Ryan Day sleeps in a race car bed.
Oh, yeah.
Classic.
Yeah,
That's pretty sick.
Did you have a race car bed?
I didn't.
My best friend growing up had a race car bed. It was red, Hot Wheels race car.
My bed was the one my mom had in her college dorm. She just kept it, and then that's what I slept in until she was like, oh, my son is 6'6". He cannot sleep in a tiny twin bed.
My mom had a water bed.
Really?
I've always wanted to lay on a water bed.
Yeah, I've never actually
Not great for lumbar support.
It's not?
Imagine not.
Also not great for tummy sleepers.
Oh, that'd be me. I can't do it then.
I'm a big time tummy sleeper.
Yeah, me too.
I'm one arm, leg up.
Same note.
Yeah,
same note.
Big time belly sleeper.
I love it.
I can't trust a back sleeper.
Yeah.
I got it.
You got one for me?
All right.
You'll be able to guess this one, but it'll
pull it up.
let him stare at the wall.
Well, okay.
Do you want any prelim kind of intros or?
This is just let's go flashback.
Yeah, this is more of a flashback. Let's have fun on nostalgia. You'll guess this very easily, I'm sure.
This man is humming.
He's humming the Jeopardy theme song.
Classic.
Is there a better song for waiting?
I don't know.
Elevator music?
Yeah, but
Alex
like
Trebek.
elevator music is more generic, I would say.
R.I.P. what?
Alex Trebek.
R.I.P. the boy.
We don't have any film up over here.
I understand that.
Whoa. This is a long week of work, eh, bud?
Let the producer
This is a long week of work, eh, bud?
It's one of those films where they got
man.
every single stat about
Yeah, it gives you
themselves.
stats and then it's a picture of
Oh,
them.
one of
got the
those
player
guys.
profile.
wanna give it away.
All right, here
Got to
we
be
go.
a skill player
Oh,
then.
you're gonna get this so fast.
Yeah.
but it'll be fun.
That's Greater Atlanta. Or no, that's Calhoun.
It looks like Sprayberry.
Oh, it's Cole Spear.
Yeah.
There it is.
Atta baby,
I'm back.
you're back.
All you had to do was give me a lunch pail, guy. I was all over it.
Here for it.
I saw this guy actually play against Blessed Trinity, and boy, spent a lot of time in the weight room. This dude was yoked up in high school, and this is going to be an explosive tape. This was a fun summer eval guy for Georgia as well. Came to Georgia, ran I think a 4.42 laser, and they were like, hey, we're going to offer you, but don't tell anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Don't tell anybody. This is quiet. We're going to keep you under wraps, and we're going to take you late in the cycle. Ball player. He has been such a missile on special teams.
Oh, man.
This season. It's been very,
That
very
was
impressive.
an interesting jail screen.
What? Just the design of it?
Yeah, watch this.
Into the boundary. Oh, a little turn around. Too.
Yeah, you don't really see that.
Yeah.
though.
Normally you fight back towards the ball. You're
Uh-huh.
right. Turn over the inside shoulder, not the outside shoulder. He played a lot of defense too against Blessed Trinity. The game I watched him.
What year was that?
That would have been Justice's junior year.
Oh, my cousin was on that team.
Fun.
Played right tackle.
A needed addition to the storyline there.
Hey, it's important to me.
That's some gas right there. Thick torso on my man as well. Where he spends a lot of time doing the double move. That's against Hiram too.
the Hornets.
Yeah. Yeah, that was too easy.
Yeah. Like I
But
said, this was more of a.
I appreciate the layup. I do.
That was more of a
appreciate
fun,
the layup.
nostalgic watch than try to get you to guess it. Do you think there's a world where someday Cole Spear's a starter for your offense?
Yeah, very soon. Very soon. Yeah, there's a world next year. I mean, if the room, you don't know what happens nowadays with the room.
Yeah.
With the transfer portal, who might go, who might stay. I'll tell you one thing. I can bet almost every single subscriber on this network that Cole Spear isn't going to enter the transfer portal. Would you put your life savings on that?
I feel like if he's still here now,
Right?
that dude's here.
There's very
So-
few things I put my life savings on. I'll just
You're
say,
right. I
but-
probably shouldn't have done all 30,500 subscribers because we worked hard for those. But what I'm saying is I think there's a much higher chance that if there's a last man standing, it's going to be Cole Spear.
I like that one.
You know?
Another question I've started to see this year. Is there a world where Oscar Delp comes back? Do you think he should, or is it too early to tell?
Yeah. Yeah, he should be coming back. Now, I know he was up in Indianapolis when we were up there. I know he was, part of that early, might be draftable junior type. And I know the NFL had a great grade on him, but he just hasn't had a clean year. It just hasn't been clean so far.
Yeah.
Now, that doesn't mean that, you play big in a playoff game, over with. You show traits
Right.
at that position, over with. And Lord knows he's got the traits. It's just got to – I would have a hard time evaluating him as an NFL scout with all the drops on tape right now.
Yeah, and I feel like the place where he has really excelled this season is about the Y position. I don't have any
Correct.
qualms about the way he's blocked this year. I feel like he's been one of your more reliable blockers,
And look,
honestly.
Charlie Warner was a 6th-round draft pick. Is going to get NFL retirement being a Y tight end.
Yep.
And Oscar can certainly do that. And what tipped that off to me, I always thought he was a good blocker. But when Todd Hartley says you're the most fundamentally sound blocker he's ever coached, and he's coached nothing but pros, you're going to be in the league for a
And
while.
it's not like Oscar Delp was really ever a blocker during his football career.
No. And that's the other thing that's been really – it's almost like a thought experiment that I want to have. And I wish I was – when he gets a little older, maybe I have a conversation with him, and maybe when his career's done. And this isn't maybe something that I talk to him about now. But Oscar, and you were around and following high school recruits at the time. Oscar Delp at West Forsyth is one of the most confident human beings I've ever seen at playing football. I'm talking about personal foul, celebration penalties. I'm talking about spiking footballs. I'm talking about talking shit. And then he gets to Georgia, and I don't see any animation from Oscar. And he was nothing but animation at West Forsyth. So I wonder if there's been like just not like a loss of confidence, but just like I'm not the guy anymore. I'm one of the guys.
I think it's also you realize that you're no longer the biggest fish in what was relatively a small pond. Like West Forsyth is not Athens, Georgia when it comes to football. And I think that you realize that. And coming in when the greatest college football tight end of all time is above you, like it's hard
for your light not to get dimmed.
Right. And it's not that he lost confidence from it, but I think he did realize like, oh, there are bigger fish out there and I need to stick my head down and grind. I don't think it's, oh, I suck now. I don't think Oscar feels that way at all.
I would show him his high school tape. I would show him his high school tape and I would say, this is you. This is who you are. This is the level of confidence that you should have within yourself because you're still this guy. Even I know the level of competition has increased, but you're still this good. Dude, you're still 6'5", 250 pounds and run a 4.5. You're everything that you need to be great. So go be great. I think that's the last thing, the level of confidence that this guy needs to play with. I think it needs to pop.
Yeah.
And it will eventually. When the light comes on, you're going to see the Oscar Delp that was a top 80 player. I still think he has all that in him. And it hasn't been terrible. No. It's just been drops.
Yeah. I mean,
everything else has been above standard.
There hasn't really been a single player this year that you can say they've been terrible.
No.
When you came in with super high expectations, like, oh, this guy.
Jurasic stepped it up.
He has.
Yep.
But I'm saying like this has been a complete and utter catastrophic failure. Everyone has had terrible moments. Everyone has had, dude, what the hell are you doing? You should not be making that play. But everyone also has had, oh, that's probably what they're seeing at practice every day. That's probably why they're starters on the team, or that's probably why they're getting meaningful playing time or meaningful snaps on this offense, because you have seen the possibilities. And I think that's the entire issue with this Georgia offense this season, is that at some point or another, one player is messing up where you need them not to. And when you get that figured out, everything is going to be fine. I truly believe that.
Boys, we got an absolute war on our hands tomorrow night.
Who's that?
Milton, traveling northeast to Gainesville.
Oh, yeah.
Milton at Gainesville, 7-0 Milton, on the road, 6-1 Gainesville, playing at home. I'll be in attendance. Me and the homie, Jeremy Johnson, on the sideline.
Atta baby.
Yeah, fun. Man. Rekindling a recruiting friendship. The dynamic duo that is Jeremy Johnson and I.
Love it.
Yep.
That'll be fun.
All right. I think that's it for the week. Man, what a week of content for us. What
Another
a week
banger.
of growth. Yeah. It was fun. Had such a good time with you guys this week, man.
Thanks,
man.
man.
Oh, yeah. It was a great time.
Good week.
Good week of college football ahead.
Yeah.
It's been prime time.
No better time.
We are about to hit the peak of the year, man.
Oh dude, we're so up.
Dude, the air's getting cool.
And
college football's getting.
We got Tennessee, Bama, and Georgia, Texas next week.
Woke up this morning, it was a bit nipply.
Oh man.
Oh, it's gonna be in the 40s this weekend.
Baby.
Talk to me.
Hoodie and shorts.
Big
weather.
man season.
Dude, sweater weather.
Grab a big fella, give him a cuddle.
I won't be doing. Probably won't do that.
Will not be cuddling, but
I'm excited for the cool weather.
I'm just saying, man, it's big man season. Love you. We'll talk to you later. Bye.